I like fighting number 2. I broke their ass. De-engineering.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
When interest rates and taxes spiral upward in an uncontrolled way. First new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force, not since the end.
A ninth world country, not a third world country, a ninth world country.
Even brought a safecracker in his sock drawer. Winston Churchill stood on the rooftops in London, very calm, making speeches. Winston Churchill. He meant explosive in terms of fire. This isn't the let's read the books school. I broke their ass. The press wasn't that long ago.
Here I am like an idiot. Here I am like an idiot. You don't like it? Yes.
Show is starting. Open this up. Try to do the thing. Don't. Try to do the thing. Uh-oh, look out. 1 second. I'm going to be with you in a second. Okay, moving that there. All right.
I broke their ass.
I think that's probably true. I think that all around, and I think he's talking about rhinos in that particular clip. He's actually discussing the CDC. He was over at the CDC and he had notes.
River.
Hi, everybody in the chat room. Good to see you. How is it going? It is Friday afternoon ish, evening into dusk. We'll call it dusk time. We'll get dusky. Here we are. Why did that play faster? Okay, there you go. And I want to say for the record, I'm gonna move this over here. I just spread this stuff out a little bit. I gotta do a little bit of housekeeping in this studio when I'm dead, because it's a friggin' wreck right now. Whew. Yeah, lots going on. Apparently, if I'm reading this properly, the Republicans are desperately wanting to smoke Hunter's crack.
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
It's hard to say what they're exactly talking about, but that's from what I gather.
Moon River.
That seems. I mean, there may be other motives.
It's a malware called Q-Snatch.
But we don't know. But the important thing is that they seem to be focusing on Hunter's crack.
I broke their ass.
And I'm certain that that's true. But in the meantime,
oh yeah, that's normal.
Certainly. There's a lot to cover today, and hi chat room, and bless you guys. Thanks for everybody for the support. There's our Venmo. There's the patreon.com/HalSparks. You can support the show year round or a month at a time or whatever you want to do. If you can't, I totally understand. But if I don't remind people, it doesn't happen. So that's why you ever see those ads? You're like, I just saw an ad for jeans, and I don't even think they mentioned the name of the brand in the damn thing. All I saw was people playing hockey, and one guy seemed like he was catching butterflies, and another one, and it was a Levi's. How's that even a Levi's ad? Well, you remember the name, didn't you? Yep. You hear, but you cannot see me. That is very strange. You can hear me? I'm ready to go. Let's mic check. I see, because I'm behind on my chat room. Hello. Listening to you finishing things for the Renaissance Fair. Beth, it is on my immediate, I wouldn't say it's a bucket list, but to go to a Ren Fair in the next, I'd say 2 years. Got to make it happen. Depends on, the timing of it, obviously. On Twitch, you're fine. Thank you. If you're on Twitch, subscribe, please, if you can. And if you can always get gift subscriptions to other people, but we got to keep our numbers up over there. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to do. And first of all, the big thing today, of course, big Hunter Biden bombshells. Big, the bombity bomb. The bing, bang, boom, bombity bomb. And for those of you who don't know, these IRS whistleblowers were very upset. Very upset. We talked about this earlier. Very upset that the U.S. attorney did not want stuff from the hard drive named laptop that Rudy Giuliani had been shopping around to these pro-Trump dickheads in basically every department. And these people were outraged. Outraged, I tell you. that the U.S. attorney was saying, don't bring that shit up, don't bring it in here, because it will ruin the case. I'm sure we'll get to plenty of that today, especially when you got like the true morons on the case. And I think you know who I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, Glenn Beck, again, proof positive that apparently whoever does his thumbnails likes Hunter, likes Joe, and can't stand him. Because who does this? This looks like, I have to say, this picture of Glenn Beck on his own thumbnail looks like one of the pictures they use of Biden when they're trying to make him look like he has dementia. Remember the picture of Biden where he's trying to see this person in the rafters at one of the, like after one of the debates when he's still talking to people and he's looking up there trying to see him, and they take this still of him where he like, I'm lost, when he's really trying to see someone in the darkness and actually address them because he stayed behind at an actual debate and was wanted to talk to voters more. Right. So they use that picture all the time on thumbnails to make Biden look bad. This looks like that shot. This looks like Glenn Beck is actually trying to recreate it. Why does he look like Steve Carell? I don't know, because both of them are troubled. Let's find out. Anyways, we might not watch all of this because there's nothing Glenn is going to say that's going to shock or amaze any of us. But here we go. This has to do with texts, WhatsApp texts that were allegedly on the laptop hard drive. The issue I have is, who the fuck is storing their WhatsApp stuff on their laptop back then? But we'll see. I think there's also another, tax filings from whatever. We'll see.
Now, I want to talk to you about something that happened with the IRS whistleblowers yesterday.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now Glenn Beck is here to waste away.
Testimony heard at the House Committee on Ways and Means, attesting to the Department of Justice hamstringing the U.S. Attorney David Weiss and his ability to pursue the Hunter Biden case. The whistleblowers
were mad that they couldn't use the easily rejected laptop bullshit. Yeah, okay. That's
Gary Shapley. He led the IRS investigation on the Hunter Biden case. The case was codenamed Sportsman. I don't know how you put him as a sport. Anyway, as well as one of his subordinate.
He likes sport, eh? Sport. Your wife likes sport, eh? Nudge, nudge. Say no more. 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 A nod's as good as a wink to a blind bat. Say no more. You've let me ask you a question. You've done it with a lady. Yes, of course. What's it like?
Agents, name undisclosed. I'm going to just give you a couple of things. I'm going to give you the top 10 things that we learned yesterday.
Okay, the top 10 things. Obviously, in the top 3 of this top 10, case closed, man. This is going to seal the deal. I'm sorry, everybody. Get ready to pack up your beautiful mind pegboard of why Hunter Biden is an innocent victim. Today's the day. Glenn's bringing the hammer down. He's got a top 10 list of stuff that will totally get Biden through. It's not happened. It didn't actually. Oh, boy.
From Just the News. But I want to.
Oh, from Just the News. Oh, you mean John Solomon's zine?
Go to where it is. Here it is.
I don't know where it is.
A WhatsApp message connected to Joe Biden.
Connected to Joe Biden. Sent by Hunter Biden. Just say that. What do you mean connected? Sorry, Glenn. Is everything any of your relatives, that anything they do is now connected to Glenn Beck genetically?
And Hunter Biden.
Or I think it's the other way around. I pity your relatives.
Business deal. Now, I don't know why we haven't seen this before.
Well, because there was a case that was ongoing, and that involved him pleading guilty and accepting a plea deal and paying a fine and paying restitution and doing other stuff. So that's why you haven't seen it, because it was part of an ongoing case. That case is now settled, and you can't charge him again under any of the stuff related to it, because of double jeopardy, and he's already pled guilty. So I don't know. Do you hear that, Glenn? Do you hear? Listen real hard, man. Listen real hard, because outside your building is a ginormous space trombone going. Wah, wah. All right. Thank you.
The second unnamed whistleblower said that there was a WhatsApp message found where Hunter Biden mentioned his father, President Joe Biden, in the context of business deals. Now,
yeah, but that doesn't mean his dad was on it. He didn't share it with his dad. It's just what he's saying at the time. But again, even there, he's just sitting there with his dad.
remember, I had nothing to do. I didn't know about my son's business. And we've told you that's impossible. It is impossible. And we've shown you circumstantial evidence. Okay.
Well, this would also be that.
But in the WhatsApp message, here's what he says. And this
is what, remember, this is what he says.
The FBI and IRS had July 30th, 2017.
Wait, who was president July of 2017? Who was it? Didn't the head of the FBI get replaced? And wasn't there somebody else put in at the IRS as well? I don't remember. It's been so long.
Biden says to Henry Zhao, one of his
Zhao, when it's when the pinyin, when the anglicization of the writing is written out ZHAO, that's Zhao. Just helping.
Chinese affiliates, guy who's doing business.
One of his Chinese affiliates, this guy who really looks, I mean, if you see him, he looks really Chinese.
With Jason, I want
it's circumcisional evidence.
to bring you in because you're chief researcher.
Only because Glenn is a bell end.
And I've been so busy on the book. I want to make sure that you clarify, make sure that I'm right on everything.
He's been so busy on the book.
Henry Zhao is the guy who
Zhao
is Communist Party affiliated, yes. Right?
He's Communist Party adjacent. He's got, it's kind of like when you're trying to rent near Beverly Hills.
Okay. And this is the, I can't remember the name of the company.
CEFC.
Yes, which was?
That was, I guess they're kind of like an energy type company.
Right. But
that's what the E stands for, fuckhead.
But it's a wholly owned subsidiary of the Chinese government.
Or a subsidiary. I don't know what constitutes the difference between a subsidiary and a subsidiary. Probably is that. Never mind.
Okay. And the contact was a guy in the Communist Party, Henry Zhao.
Zhao, sure.
And this is what Hunter Biden wrote. Quote, I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Now, it goes on, but I think that's enough.
That's great. Because there's also a photo of his dad sitting right next to him. And you can absolutely trust someone who's on crack. Anyways.
Don't you? I'm sitting here with my father, not the big guy. You know, he's become very spiritual. Maybe he was talking about his father in heaven. I'm sitting here in prayer with my father in heaven.
No, that's the kind of shit you say, Glenn.
And he's wondering why the commitment, to some of those commandments has not yet been fulfilled. Maybe that's the explanation. He says, tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand. And now means tonight. And Z, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman.
You, Zhang, or the chairman.
I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I'm sitting here waiting for the call with my father in.
Yeah, it sounds like he's trying to use his dad as leverage because of a deal that isn't going through. A deal, by the way, that didn't go through.
Heaven. Or, as he wrote, he left the in heaven part out. I'm sitting here waiting for the call with my father.
I mean, I was very, very suspicious of, and I would say knew that Joe Biden committed crimes like this. And
Crimes like this. He's not president at this point, fuckhead. Even the accusation, this is after. He's no longer, but you do realize that when this allegedly happened, if it even did, which I'm not giving you, but if it did, it happened when he was no longer vice president. And not only was he no longer vice president, the most hostile administration to him and his wants and needs had come into power. There was nothing that, had Joe Biden as vice president been followed by a Kasich administration or a Clinton administration or somebody even a little more stable, you could make an argument that the VP status that he had could be used to gain favor. To manipulate the next administrator, talk to him as a former VP. Can I get on the phone with you and can we turn some screws and make something happen? But literally, the people who followed his administration was a dude who thought Biden's boss wasn't even a fucking American.
This is not a surprise. I am surprised they were this blatant with it.
Who's they? Because so far, again, this is taking these things as real. I don't trust that, but let's just take it as real. This is just Hunter saying this, using this as leverage. I'm sitting here with my dad, and my dad and I are waiting on this call. And if I don't hear it tonight, you're in big fucking trouble. It sounds like financial pressure building up and him trying to use any leverage he has to scare the shit out of these people who were supposed to, by the way, I believe, and I don't know what this is directly referencing, but it sounds like they were supposed to start their own U.S. subsidiary to get this deal to move forward that was divorced from the Chinese Communist Party. When you open it in the United States, it would have to sever ties as an entity with the Chinese Communist Party, and they never ended up doing that. And that was his red line. He's like, if this doesn't happen, you've always been full of shit, and I'm going to let everybody know.
I am shocked that this message actually exists. This is Hunter Biden blatantly blurting out everything we've been accusing him of. It's happening. This is real, right? Honestly, I went back and forth 20 times yesterday going is it, did someone say they saw this message? Is it one of those things that it turned up on the internet? We can't explain why. This is real, Jason, right? There's no question about it.
This is not only real, but let me tell you this. The FBI, and this is in the first couple pages of this report.
The report is 250 pages. Yeah. And thank God for you, Jason, for reading all
I'm always the schmuck, right?
I know.
The FBI authenticated all of this in November 2019. Now, just think about what happened after that.
Okay, that's a year before the election. Yeah. That's a year before the laptop goes out. They verified. The FBI, we now know, verified
everything except Biden being a part of it.
That laptop was real.
No. Stupid. No. They did not. That's not where this is from. The WhatsApp stuff is not from that laptop, stupid.
A year before anyone even heard the word Hunter laptop.
But what did they do to social media companies like Facebook right after this? They went to places like Facebook and said, hey, there might be some Russian disinformation, that might be coming your way soon. Just want to put it on your radar. Mm-hmm. And that eventually led to all of the blacklisting and, banning of all.
The 6 hours you couldn't read the New York Post story in October of 2020. The 6 hours.
All that information like the New York Post.
And by the way, did the New York Post site go down? Were people unable to post the link or just reference it?
Post article. This is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
What is truly an act of treason toward freedom
An act of treason toward freedom
is the press not raising hell over this.
Yeah.
again. Asshole. Even if it's all real, it happened after Biden was vice president. After. He's a private citizen. What the fuck is your point?
Okay. This is the smoking gun.
No, it isn't. Because for it to be a smoking gun in this situation, the corpse, which would be the dead person, would have to be Mr. Influence, Mr. Leveraging political office for monetary favors. That guy, that corpse, would have had to die 3 years earlier, and the gun didn't start smoking until after the victim had been taken away in an ambulance. Is a terrible analogy, but you know what I mean.
The smoke, the little smudged bullet in the wall.
The little smudged bullet in the wall.
This is all of it.
No, it isn't. Because Joe Biden wasn't vice president in 2017, dummy.
This is all of it. And for them not to take this now and
say, wait a minute, when did Joe Biden leave office? And not criminalize. And again, I don't believe any of this stuff is real, especially if they're saying it came from the laptop, which is garbage, and the FBI validate, which I also don't believe. Horseshit. But let's go with the idea that they're totally buying into all of it as absolutely real. The remedy in this would be to criminalize private citizens getting engaged in foreign businesses, and only going forward with those foreign ties if those foreign ties opened up U.S. subsidiaries.
Because here's the problem. Only half the country.
Here's the problem, 2017. Here's your problem. You do realize you fucking knifed your own tires when you said 2017.
Cares.
Right.
And until you get the other half to care, nothing's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. And by the way, Glenn, don't misunderstand. It's not that I don't care. It's that I only care to the extent that it is fucking hilarious watching you guys whiff at this all the time.
But if ABC, NBC, boy, it would be horrible if people started protesting the Mouse House, because ABC only moves when anybody threatens the Mouse House, the actual park. You're saying, I'm going to picket your park.
With a Nazi flag. The fuck are you talking about? Now you're for that. Now, okay, sorry. In the middle of all this, Glenn Beck comes soundly down on the side of waving Nazi flags in public, especially in front of amusement parks designed for children.
They go crazy. They don't care about their movie or anything. They care about the parks.
All right. So if you should go down there and hold up signs with the WhatsApp message in front of the gates of Disneyland then. Because that will convince people. That's how you get the other half. The fuck are you talking about?
So I'd hate to see somebody organize a really lasting, long-term, and smart picketing of those
Yeah. Well, it won't be the people that tried it before.
parks
I suppose.
to get ABC to actually start to tell the truth.
Starting with that these accusations begin after Joe Biden is no longer in office. They don't even have accusations while he's VP.
The fact that
Yeah, show me on the doll where the bad mouse touched you.
they just
Glenn.
that this isn't the lead and not
Sorry, can I turn up mine? I'm pretty up there.
non-stop story of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Because it's not only this message. You know, we've seen the laptop. We've seen tons of stuff on there. That was a
No, you haven't. Stu has never seen the laptop. Pause. Stu, you've never seen the laptop. You've seen a hard drive. You've seen the contents of a hard drive named laptop. That's what you've seen. That Rudy Giuliani bought in Europe.
a real problem. The reason we're seeing this message today is because the whistleblowers said they had these messages and they were blocked from trying to investigate them.
Yes. So listen.
Okay. The whistleblowers were taking stuff from the Giuliani hard drive that he was shopping around. And the uppers were saying you cannot incorporate that into this investigation, or Hunter Biden's lawyer, if they have more than 10 minutes on the job, will get the whole case thrown out.
Listen to the whole thing. Listen, there's other things. Biden met
Oh, the video's louder than me. I try to bring it down a touch.
CEFC, Chinese business client of Hunter. Did you know that? He didn't know anything about it. He meets this guy.
Oh.
Shapely recalled Rob Walker, associate of Hunter, describing a meeting that Joe Biden attended with the Chinese company. Walker went on to describe an instance in which the former vice president showed up at a CFC meeting. Walker said, we were at the Four Seasons. We were having lunch, and he stopped in, and he said hello to everybody. I don't think he drank water. I think Hunter Biden said, I may be trying to start a company or try to do something with these guys. And could you? And I think he was like, I'm around. And he'd show up, he recounted. So I don't know exactly what that means other than.
I don't know. It sounds like a smoking gun to me. I mean, it does sound like it's smoking because you were cleaning it and it went off.
I want to do business, and could you be involved? But he didn't want to say that. You know, if you're around, would you show up from time to time? Is that what you get from that?
Yes. Does that go on to say what the conclusions that they drew from that meeting? Okay, so that goes on even further in the testimony, and the person, whoever's asking the whistleblower question, says, "Was it your impression that all of this was orchestrated between Joe and Hunter for him to show up at that time to make that presence to influence this meeting? Was it in your impression that this was orchestrated?" He answers, "Yes, that was."
Yeah, your impression doesn't mean shit. They'll bring up stuff where your impression is wrong, and they'll go, so what was that the case? No, that's not why. He came by because we were doing this thing, and they bring in by, and he goes, nah, we had a thing to do there, and there was a real thing, and we had arranged it weeks before, and it just happened, or I knew my son was in town, so I came over to say hi because I can, and I love him. That's it. But this guy thinks you did it on purpose to help this business deal. Well, he can think whatever he wants. Case dismissed. Like, again, if the case against Trump was this flimsy and this harangued, none of the Democrats that impeached him, or none of the Democrats who are supporting the idea of going after him for these documents, would be for them, because it would be so just kind of jerkishly small.
My impression.
Okay, now this isn't just some nameless whistleblower. There are those that are afraid. This is a high-ranking IRS official that was in charge of this investigation.
Yeah.
And as you will find out in a few minutes, he is blowing the whistle not only on what they found, but what they were not allowed to do. All the stuff that this was, oh, no, we stayed out of it. Is an absolute lie.
Again, the prosecutor who was going after Hunter Biden did not want to include things from the alleged laptop because they are not verifiable. They are, as the Washington Post referred to them, a forensic nightmare. And if you try to incorporate those into the case against Hunter Biden that the IRS was moving forward on, you would have gotten the whole case thrown out. What they are arguing for, what Glenn in his infinite stupidity and every one of these dickheads is arguing about, what they are, whether they're aware of it or not, and I don't think he is, I think he's just that dumb, is they are arguing for the entire case, the guilty plea, all that stuff, to be thrown out and expunged, because had this been a part of it, none of that would have happened. Had they tried to incorporate the contents of this alleged laptop hard drive, because it wasn't from the actual laptop, for myriad of reasons, If they'd have tried to incorporate any of it, it would have gotten thrown out. They were sticking to the laptop that he turned over, because at one point, Hunter Biden turned over a laptop to the IRS specifically for this, unrelated to the stuff they're talking about or these agents were talking about. And the U.S. attorney, the assistant U.S. attorney in charge of this, was trying to keep a firewall between that shit so that they could actually charge Hunter Biden.
And we now.
Oh, wait, sorry. State Department is, people are, let me jump in here real quick, because people are talking about we talked about it this morning. U.S. is closely monitoring the situation in Russia after Prigozhin statements. Yeah, there was anyone know how to send Hal a link? Yes. You can tweet it to me or what have you. We talked about Prigozhin's speech today. Yeah, whistleblower, disgruntled employee. That's another factor in this as well. You're absolutely right. Waiting to hear from Philip. He's going to be on tomorrow in the afternoon. Yeah, Trump is panicking because he can't get out of the documents case. Glenn Beck and the Infinite Stupidity. I love that album. Yeah. It's his a cappella album. How can I send it to you? You can tweet it to me. Send it to me at my Twitter, at Hal Sparks. There is a hot Russian on Russian action. Yeah. There's more Hal. Yeah. It's an ongoing thing. Here, hold on one second. I will pop over to here. Let me grab that because I know people will be jumping into here. Moscow, boop, is popping up. A military base is on fire in Moscow region. Video. Oh, shit. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. Here you go.
Вот, ночь с 23 на 24 июня. Фрязино. Горит военная база.
From, everybody's like, from 6 days, we're going to take Moscow to a civil war in 15 months. Footage surfaces online showing heavy military equipment hitting the pavement in Moscow. Good evening, shouts one woman seeing an armored vehicle roll down the street. Moscow tonight, Russian media. Holy shit. Latest Wagner telegram. Former commented on the missile attack on the rear camp of the orchestra. According to him, there were some details of what happened. Head of Wagner PMC noted that this is what I was talking about earlier, that the Wagner guys are accusing the Ministry of Defense of firing on his people. He used gunners and helicopter pilots in the dark to destroy us, Prigozhin said in an audio message. March of Justice PMC Wagner is a karmic punishment for Razumov and Shoigu. If you've been ruining the army for years of blah, blah, blah. Okay. Anyways, this guy is one of Shoigu's guys, and he's kind of clapping back. They picked another bald guy to yell at the other bald guy. Yeah, holy shit. This is going down. This is happening live? Yeah. Military forces enter the center of Moscow, local media report. In an emergency bulletin tonight, Russian state media is doing what it does to the immediate aftermath of things going pear-shaped for Moscow. Just repeat official statements from the Kremlin. Yeah, there's the fire footage again. There's this guy. Well, give me 1 second. Okay. On June 24th, Lukashenko's personal business jet, Bombardier Challenger 850, took off from Minsk National Airport and flew in the direction of Moscow. So Lukashenko, what did he call him to Lukashenko? Did he call in Lukashenko in the middle of this shit? SSO, commanded by Major General Flustikov, have taken over control of the Ministry of Defense headquarters on Frunzhenskaya in Moscow right now. There's no way of knowing whose side he's really on, Shoigu or Prigozhin. Probably a wait and see. Whoa! Tanks arriving in Moscow. Are they going to surround that MOD building? Because it's been taken by... Good Lord. First clash occurred between advanced groups in the Wagner PMC. Moving towards Moscow, the units of Rossiyskvardia. Meanwhile, police blocked access to the administration of the president of the Russian Federation of Moscow. I really got to... Can we send out a moment, have a moment of silence for the Jackson Hinkles and the Aaron Mates of the world? And because this is... They were not expecting this shit to go sideways this harshly. That quick. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm going to pull up my... Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to pull up my Telegram channels so we can look at some of that stuff, because that's where this stuff comes from first. So, Astra's here. Let's see if they're good. Yeah, that's where that footage is coming from. Yeah, see, here's the This is the, whoops, get in there. This is the Telegram channel. This is the videos you're seeing on Twitter. It comes from the Astra, checking the news on there. This is, let's see what they say. Translate. In the center of Moscow, blocked the passage to the presidential administration. There we go. Yeah. Give me 1 second because I'm going to jump over to here. I can't show you stuff until I've cleared the video for. Yeah. So here's what they're saying about that footage we just saw right here. On Channel 1, in a special news release, called it a staged video with the alleged consequences of a strike by the Ministry of Defense on the positions of Wagner PMC. Voice audio messages of Yevgeny Prigozhin are also called fake because they were on, quote, on hold. The issue repeated all the official statements of the law enforcement agencies. So what she's saying is that these are all fake messages. Because they lost control of the airwaves. So I don't know if you know this. Earlier today, Prigozhin's statements were broadcast on Russian television. And the one we looked at this morning on the morning show, those were broadcast then. Yeah, and Rostov began to block the streets. At the moment, Budanovsky Prospect and Maxim Gorky Street are blocked. The movement is blocked with the help of tigers, early military equipment appearing on the streets. This is the video that we're seeing from there. This is the area that it's in. Let's check out some of these. Okay. In a number of police departments of the Rostov region, the fortress plan has been announced. Employees are on alert. Whether anxiety is educational and what it causes are being investigated. It's like whether there's reason to be scared. This is a translation. It's not that great. The fortress plan implies an emergency gathering of personnel and taking control of especially important objects of law enforcement agencies. Plan also provides for readiness to repel an external attack. Couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of guys. You are some kind of guy. FSB opened a criminal case in the fact of incitement to rebellion. That's against Prigozhin, I guess. The National Anti-Terrorism Committee stated that the allegations spread on behalf of Prigozhin have no basis in fact. In connection with these statements, the FSB of Russia initiated a criminal case on the fact of calling for an armed rebellion. We demand an immediate halt to illegal actions. And then later, they're fake statements. He didn't really say that. Vladimir Putin is aware of the situation unfolding around Prigozhin, the founder of PMC Wagner, and all necessary measures are being taken, said Peskov. Earlier, the head of Wagner PMC, Yevgeny Prigozhin, said that the Ministry of Defense had hit the rear camps of his private military company, killing many people. The Ministry of Defense denied this. These are the back and forth text between it. New type of money scammer. Okay, that's a different thing. Hold on. This guy right here. Translate. Russian Ministry of Defense commented on them. Okay, it's the same basic statement. Okay. And then, all right, now we'll go back to, if I can, we'll go back over to here to, this is one of their supports. Hold on. Okay, I think this is one of the channels that supports Putin and all of his shit. It's not for nothing that Shoigu doesn't say anything about what is happening. He is simply not at his workplace. He just sits on Rublyovka in connection with this. The strengthening of the National Guard on the highway happened. Okay? And this guy right here, Shoigu did not come to the building of the Ministry of Defense of Frunzskaya embankment. Now he's in his country house in the Moscow region. Okay, so he's the argument. So far, all official threats to Prigozhin come from the FSB of the Russian Federation. Sources say that the department is really up in the gun. English is rough for some of these.
I broke their ass.
I think so. TFR, RFGP are silent. Interestingly, according to the Cheku Ogpu, it is absolutely calm. For example, in the airborne forces. Okay, so they haven't launched an airstrike on themselves yet. Ordinary Tsarism sources confirm a missile attack on the Wagner Group. It has also become known that the Ministry of Defense is preparing to use an emergency statement. Let's see who will voice it. That's where that's coming from. And there's audio tracks from this. Back to me for 1 second. Let me grab something else. Again, let's see if this guy is down here. What's that mean? Hold on. Translate. Let's see the date. Okay, here we go. Kenny Prigozhin compared to the great commander of the mercenary army, blah, blah, blah. Due to the vividness of my imagination, I can easily imagine how Russian history will be replenished with a similar collision. An information attack on Wagner's, then rumors about an audit of the company's economic activities, then Prigozhin's careless statement in actual or imaginary disobedience, then rumors about the appointment of new commanders in PMC, then the blocking temporary, of course, the company's settlement accounts. This is what he thinks. There's nothing good in this story, but there is an inevitability. He's talking about halberds versus sledgehammer. Been urged for so long to start a channel for thoughts and not reported the CCPC. As an organization, I'll give it a try since I'm seriously interested in the future of war. These will be main topics of this channel. Okay, well, okay, this is a breakdown of what that guy was talking about. It's not, you know, he's just a position thought. Prigozhin's Telegram channel broadcast Wagner's Guten Dämmerung. Okay. Guten Dämmerung. Question, what is going on? Answer, the implosion of a super centralized state devoid of democratic checks and balances due to the loss of authority of a central regulator and the steady growth of the independence of various power and near power structures. I mean, if you want to be, if you want to hit the nail on the head, yeah. Let's see. I'm going to try what's going on in Moscow. There's this shit. Wait 1 second. Security measures have been strengthened in Moscow. All the most important facilities, state authorities, and transport infrastructure facilities have been taken under enhanced protection, according to TASS. That's according to the Russian media. The Oman and Sober units of the Russian Guard were raised on alarm. They're not fucking around. Imagine, if you will, after January 6th, if, Mike Flynn got a bunch of, like paramilitary guys together and declared war on the fucking Pentagon. And it was so bad the Pentagon had to like park tanks around the entry to the Pentagon. That's the equivalent of what we're fucking seeing right here. Right now. And here's a piece of footage for you. Military equipment spotted in the center of Moscow. That's that. Yeah, that's not... This is not how they thought shit would be going, I don't think. Yeah, they're parking these and blocking entry or blocking exit. It's hard to tell. This is from earlier, so it's hard to say. What's this one? Crowd of fans for bigger Sugo gathered. Okay, yeah. I always have to scale past those things because fucking people jump off of shit. Oh yeah, here you go. This is another. The truck is completely burning. Okay, it's just another truck on fire video. Hey, it's full of fireworks. That's magical. Yeah, this is that giant building that caught fire in Moscow recently too. This guy, and they're picking up water and dumping it on it from this like central lake. Yeah, you gotta be careful about the giant cross, and there's a bunch of shit, and then there's this dude firing his gun. Okay, so we're back to there. Okay, so back to me, and then I'll go to the chat real quick if I can. There you go. Hi, chat room. Man, this is huge. Wait, just came in. What's happening? Are Russians attacking each other? Yes. Insofar as we know, okay, to catch you up to speed, Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of the Wagner Group, who's apparently pissed that his guys all died with empty guns and has been in a pissing match with the head of the Ministry of Defense, they're effectively the Russian Pentagon, for a while now, says that the Russian Ministry of Defense fired a missile at one of his Wagner encampments, killing hundreds, if not thousands, of his fighters. And when that went down, he released a video saying there was no difference from February 21st to 24th or for fucking 2016 or 2017. That Russia started this war because the military guys and the oligarchs that were in the Donbass region had just run out of shit to steal. And they decided, let's take more of Ukraine because we're running out of resources and we're running out of people. So that's why they talked Putin into this will be easy. We'll do it in 6 weeks. and Biden's a wuss, and Trump, set it up so that they'll, NATO's on its heels, and we got everybody bent over a table, so let's just do it. And he says it had nothing to do with NATO expansion. It's all bullshit. They just wanted more shit to loot effectively. Since that video came out, it was on his Telegram channel. That got released on Russian television. Russian television was hacked, and someone aired that video where he told the real reason for the war on there. And since then, shit meet fan. Let me see here. Let's see. Russian TV hacked. Yeah, here you go. So this is Anton Gerashenko's posting this, but there's Kiev Post. Russian TV channels were hacked and Prigozhin's audio recordings were played. This whole, him breaking down why the Ministry of Defense talked Putin into this shit. You could tell he's soft pedaling it. We read it earlier today. If you missed it, it was near the end of the morning show. We went through all of his recordings, and in it, he basically is protecting Putin, going, he doesn't really know what's going on because all they're giving him is bullshit and good news and stuff. Meanwhile, they're attacking us. That's the root of it. And that they just killed a bunch of his men. And that at some point, he's effectively called the bluff of, this is the video he put out. And there were secondary audio recordings, which we played as well. But they were played, and since then, the military has moved in. We're on our way to Moscow, and anyone who entered our centers will answer for it. Prigozhin. This is an hour ago. Holy shit. Wagner convoys will go towards Moscow tonight, but they're not idiots. I think it's possible Wagner mercenaries will arrive to Moscow in small groups, 3 to 5 people at a time. Then, in about a month, we'll see the real coup. Don't forget that Russian police is corrupt. The criminal authorities trust Prigozhin, so the plan might be quite different. Holy shit. Downtown Rostov-on-Don in Russia, the rumors that Wagner's 50-kilometer column crossed the border into Rostov region is true. This will be the first major city on Wagner's path to Moscow. That's why they blocked the streets. More tanks rolling into Moscow. Because Prigozhin is coming for the capital. Fucking hell. We are starting, writes Wagner Telegram channel. What exactly are you starting? Moscow in 3 days. Jesus Christ. Several units, including 45th Airborne Brigade, refused to leave the barracks against the Wagnerites. They're not going to, because that's the other thing. Who are you going to fight back against? Looks like Moscow is going through things, you think? And then, boom, an hour later, the military base is on fire. Downtown Moscow right now, Operation Fortress is response to Wagner PMC declaring a civil war on the Kremlin. Rybar claims that extensive security measures in Moscow, including the mobilization of a variety of units, were put in place yesterday due to an operation to search for Ukrainian sleeper cells and sabotage and reconnaissance groups. Right. Report on the first combat clash between advanced groups of Wagner infantry fighting unit and units of the Russian Guard. Previously, the battle took place on the Rostov-Moscow highway in the area of village of Cossack Lagary. As a result, I mean, to some degree, like, you'd get them killed if you said it. You'd go, if Ukraine came out and said, we understand the Wagnerites were paid to fight for Moscow. The minute they turn to Moscow, we're willing to make a conversation with them if they want to move back to the Russian borders and go back to being just Russians. We've got no quarrel with them the way we do with the Ministry of Defense and Vladimir Putin himself. And yeah, more videos from Moscow. Fucking hell. Imagine this is DC. Imagine, 8 o'clock at night in Washington, D.C., tanks are rolling down the streets because, like I said, Mike Flynn and Blackwater declared war on the fucking Pentagon. Now, it wouldn't happen because, the Pentagon would, irradiate them from space. Obviously, we have Jewish space lasers for a reason. But Russia has clearly shown that it does not have the capable staff. And then you got the real question is whether like those soldiers will all stand up against the Wagnerites, or if they side with them. Heavy military presence reported on the streets of Moscow tonight. We hear shooting near Moscow's Profesnaya metro station. Russian opposition telegram. Increased military vehicle presence. Yeah, this is, and again, we were looking, give me 1 second, because I've always got to check to make sure I'm not showing you guys anything that will get me kicked off of fucking every station. But let's get down here. Okay, that hasn't, is it updated? No, there's one more there. Spravde is saying this, get down here. Okay, asset subjects, but they haven't caught up. They're fucking behind everything. Some of the other channels are so caught off guard by this that they don't actually have a response yet. We'll see. According to the Kiev, here's the Kiev Independent. Budanov says Russia's plan to sabotage Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant has been drafted and approved. Which, by the way, if you're the Wagner Group and you got a bunch of dudes stationed, they've stationed your guys around Zaporizhzhia, and then you find out there's a fucking false flag that's going to murder your dudes, I can imagine that would make you a little anxious about the plan. Meanwhile, Kiev Independent is saying Kremlin spokesperson says Putin is aware of the situation with Prigozhin. Russian media report panic in presidential office. According to the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov, cited by Russian state-owned TASS, Russia's Vladimir Putin is aware of the situation unfolding around Wagner boss Prigozhin, and all necessary measures are being taken. Jesus Christ. This is so good. All right. Late on June 23rd, Prigozhin claimed the Russian army hit Wagner's rear camps with missiles, threatening to respond and pledging to restore justice in Russia. He said, by the way, this is not a coup. This is a march for justice. We're going to figure out why there's chaos in the country and encourage Russians to join them, according to Russian media outlet Vajne Istory. Citing its source close to the Kremlin, Russia's presidential office is in panic and does not exclude the scenario of civil war. What did I tell you about popcorn, kids? What the fuck did I tell you? What did I say? What I say with the pop? And let's see if I think Ritter's writing shit about this. Nope. Boy, the follow-up from those motherfuckers. Woof. Okay, let's see here. Trying to wait. I'm waiting for some footage to come up in a second. Hold on. This guy translate. Shit. All the pro-Russian sites I follow are all just ignoring it or just aren't posting because God knows where the fuck they are right now. Holy shit. So latest, we'll go to the latest on here and trends. Moscow's on fire again. That's the footage we saw from YouTube. A special NATO coalition has been announced to address the critical popcorn shortage of Ukrainian troops. Boy. Reports of Wagner heading to Moscow. What could that even be accomplished or whatever? A senior American intelligence official tells me for both Ukraine and U.S. intelligence, it's a watch and see if they destroy themselves sort of situation. They said it was going to be a long night of watching how this develops. Said Wagner is preparing to mobilize. It's believed they want to head towards Moscow. Edited an original tweet for better context. FSB calls on Wagner to ignore Prigozhin's criminal orders and to assist in his apprehension. Multiple generals making video calls on them to do the same. Armored vehicles are observed on the streets of Moscow. I don't think they're going to do it, guys. I don't think so. Oh, Discord. Thank you. Checking it. Checking it. Yevgeny Prigozhin's coup and red federal service announced. Oh boy. This is see if I can open this up. Stretch out, you silly. From Let's Get Naked. CSL, you want this link for the bulletin? There you go. Yeah, here you go. This is this guy. Let's Get Naked. Is the naked Pravda, the naked truth. Yevgeny Prigozhin's coup, Russian Federal Security Service announced a felony investigation. We looked at that. 8 military trucks passing the Defense Ministry building in Moscow. It's these guys We looked at those. See, guys, I mean, do I not hook you up? Am I not showing you the source clips from the actual Telegram channels that everybody else is grabbing from? All right. I'm on top of it. All right. Commander of the Russian Volunteer Corps, a paramilitary formation fighting on the side of Ukraine, has taken a stance on Prigozhin's insurrection, calling him a patriot and urging his peers to get ready over the past year, he said. Prigozhin has turned from a somber Putin chef into a freestanding political figure. Tensions in the upper echelons of the Russian power grew. The sanctions and the military failures at the front accelerated the process of rotten decomposition. And here we have the result. An ambitious, angry, popular among the people as well as the military patriot who owns a private army, a population demoralized by drawn-out and bloody war, and an incoherent power system. Let's get ready. The special Channel 1 report on the situation amounted to an announcement that Prigozhin's footage of an alleged Russian Defense Ministry strike on Wagner was fake, and that Prigozhin's remarks were prepared in advance. The report did mention the new criminal case against him. So he faked it after they were going to put a case against him for doing the thing that's fake. Whatever the shit. Anyways, Russian Defense Ministry reports that taking advantage of Prigozhin's provocation, the Ukrainian Army Command is concentrating its 35th Brigade of the Marines and 36th Motorized Infantry Brigade on starting positions, preparing to launch an offensive at the Bakhmut tactical direction. The road into Rostov-on-Don from the western side has been blocked off. Dude, are they going to... I mean, what the fuck do you do if Moscow's under attack? You got no troops you can pull back. They're all fighting in Ukraine. All of them. FSB joined those in the Russian authorities calling it, what do? Pull them from fucking Georgia and watch that territory get reseeded? Military vehicles heading in the direction of the Kremlin. Yeah, that's where those went. This is his... Sort of sitting with an automatic rifle on his knee, recorded an appeal to Wagner fighters, asking them not to take part in the rebellion. I urge you to stop. The enemy is waiting precisely for the political situation in our country to worsen. Before it's too late, you need to obey the will and orders of the popularly elected president of the Russian Federation. Stop the comms. Return to your places of permanent deployment. And he means permanent because you're going to fucking die there, dummy. Jesus. Without naming its source, Fontanka reports that Prigozhin was in St. Petersburg around 7 p.m. on Friday night. Well, because he dropped off those documents at the fucking building. Senator Moscow blocked the passage of the administration of Putin. Military columns moved towards the Ministry of Defense in the Russian Federation. This is this guy right here. Thanks, guys. Yeah, open link inside there. Defense of Ukraine. We are watching. In center. Yeah, this is the footage that we're looking at. Pentagon continues to monitor Western weapons systems transferred to Ukraine. Has not yet recorded cases of their unauthorized distribution. Okay, yes, agreed. Ministry of Defense, Wagner PMC, according to the channel, a rocket attack was carried out on the Wagner PMC camps from the rear where the victims were reported. Ukraine has returned 2 more POWs from Hungary. War trophies captured, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is the dam. New pictures of the Kakhovka dam. Commander of the ground forces, the main force of the Ukrainian army, have not yet been involved in the offensive. Everything's still ahead. Yeah, they haven't moved in. You could argue that maybe this was, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go to say they coordinated with Wagner and just bought them. Just said, hey, fucko, we'll let you have the goddamn place if you help us win, because you're just going to die here, and he's just killing your fucking dudes. Military blocked the movement of cars along the M4 Don Highway towards Rostov-on-Don. That's from a passenger on a bus who's stuck. They blacked out part of it so as to not show where they are, I guess, or what their picture is. That might even be one of the buses. Holy shit. Yeah. Passenger at the border of the DPR and the Rostov region is open. This was by Aspress. Okay. The whole thing took about an hour and a half to defend and drive through, says a motorist who drove through the checkpoint at Marinovka. Initially, the passage was closed with the warning indefinitely. Oh, shit. Approximately the same amount took the passage through the other checkpoint. There you go. And then Kiev Post is posting this right now. We'll open that link. This is the Channel 1 that we were talking about. Where they said it was fake. The attack was staged, which I don't know what the fuck that means. He blew his own guys up? What the fuck are you talking about? There was no way he just killed a bunch of his own dudes as like he false flagged his own men. Unless we're talking about like he wiped out a bunch of these like useless, violent felon conscripts they shipped to him. So he decided to like round them all up in a warehouse, blow the warehouse up, and use that as a precursor to attack Putin at home, which, holy shit. That's amazing. Military equipment becoming more and more every hour. There you go. That's the fire. I mean, through the trees, it's hard to tell, but these are the guys moving in. We are of the same blood. We are warriors. The enemy is waiting for the internal political situation of the country to worsen. You can't play into the hands of the enemy. Yeah, this is the Sorovkin. This guy was the first guy to put out a statement, and this Lieutenant General Alexeyev put out another one, basically telling these guys like, don't do it, don't join him. If you side with us, you can have great digs like this one. You too can die in a fucking poorly furnished, shitty particle board room. We call the fighters of Wagner at PMC not to carry out Prigozhin's criminal under the federal security. Yeah, there you go. Prigozhin's actions will be given a proper legal assessment. This crime is punishable by imprisonment for a term of 12 to 20 years. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're not going to fucking put his head on a block and hit it with a sledgehammer or anything. And that's the Russian TV channels being hacked. And there's more of the vehicles coming into the streets. Military support as Wagner chief accuses Russian defense military of camp strike, vows military coup. There are 25,000 of us, and we're going to figure out why lawlessness is happening in the country. 25,000 are expected as a tactical reserve, and the strategic reserve is the whole army and the whole country. Everybody wants to join us. We need to end this mess. I got to go out on a limb, kids. I got to say, does anybody think this is how Putin thought this would end? Man, you should be rolling blaring for Putin, right? Hal, who do we root for? Who's the lesser of the two evils? Well, in this case, it's Prigozhin, because again, an ideological villain is always scarier than a greedy villain, because a greedy villain recognizes that they can only go so far before the return on their investment dries up, and they'll never have the hedonistic pleasures and the money that they were hoping they would get. And all these paid-for mercenaries don't want to fucking die for a cause they don't believe in. They want a paycheck. They were sent there to fight with a paycheck, and they were promised certain things, and then they were being killed because they wouldn't die like alleged patriots, like nationalists in this case. Founder Wagner was big Hitler fan, therefore named the group Wagner. Yes, that's why I don't pronounce it Wagner. Wagner, kids. Wagner. Who's Putin going to nuke now? I guess the Kremlin. He could. It could be one of those things where he pulls an aliens one where they just pull the detonator. You always were an asshole. Kablooey. Who had Russian insurrection on their bingo card? Seriously. Yeah, the Russian army's had enough. They're not going to want to fight this shit anymore. YouTube there. Putin lieutenants reportedly fighting with each other. CBS News video. Excellent. Hold on 1 second. Andre, I don't know why that link isn't working for me. Can't get it. Maybe it'll come through in a second. It's weird when you post them in there. They can't be like hyphenated. But ask CSL how to put them in there. I'd help you, but I'll do the show. Putin having a Gaddafi flashbacks? No shit. Phil did predict this. Everything, like nothing, and then everything happens at once. You're exactly right. This is how Phil says it works over there. And he's, so far, dead on. On the embankment near the building of the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation, military with machine guns. Ladies and gentlemen, right here. These fellas just standing around there, blocking off the road, waiting to shoot at some people. This is situation in the region. Situation in the region is under complete control. Let's see. Situation in the region is calm and under full control. Currently, numerous facts of the spread of fakes from the SIPSO of Ukraine on social networks are being recorded. Unverified and provocative messages are published on social networks and instant messages. In this regard, we remind you, you need to trust only official sources of information. Right. There's that one picture again. There's her saying that bullshit. There's more trucks and stuff. This just is, this is unfolding, kids, as we're watching it. Prigozhin said his mercenaries are entering Rostov. The border guards hugged us, he said. According to him, conscripts were sent against the Wagnerites. That's how he's going to justify it, by the way. He will justify it that way. Hold on. What's this happening? Rosemont, small, what are you doing? Go easy. We're trying to have a conversation here. Hey, who's fighting in Ukraine? Snack break. Right. Well, that's the thing. If they pull out and there's a bunch of like, I mean, they're going to have to get, I guess, Russian troops to fucking chase after them as they leave. Right? I'm not saying Hal is wrong, guys. Ease up. Okay. Yeah. Can't tell you how grateful I am that we're watching this together. I know, Templeton. Absolutely. Do you think this will end the war? It has a very strong possibility. It might not be tonight, but this is how it ends. Would Wagner want to continue to take over Ukraine? No. They would not. Ukraine takes over Russia. That's entirely possible. Crimea will be Ukrainian again. Yes. Red Russians versus White Russians. This gives Ukraine a leg up. I'm for it. It does. There's no way it doesn't. I can see Doran Ritter's smug mugs falling. Oh my God, the fucking meltdown CSL that's happening right now. Amongst them. Wagner's Amway. That's cruel. Can they spring Navalny? I mean, they could. They won't. They won't kill him though, the way, Putin would. They probably release him to try to normalize relationships with the West and establish some sort of like truly patriotic version of the new Russia. Right? Wagner lost 40,000 of their 60,000 troops. Yeah, they say they have 25 and then other reserves. Can Ukraine claim victory and take over Russia? That would be rough. But the breakdown of the other, the oblasts of Russia could absolutely break the fuck off. They took it down. I see. 4 hours old anyways. We got way fresher. No worries. Okay, thank you. What's China's take on this? They don't like it. The idea that somebody sympathetic to the government of Taiwan might do something similar if they decided to jack Taiwan is a distinct possibility. There are lots of Chinese people who would love for the CCP to fall if it got on its heels at all. And if it came about this way, you're goddamn right. They put down these kind of things all the time. If they lost control, good Lord. Really strange direction to fly to St. Petersburg from Moscow, just saying. I don't know, they're relating to what? Let's see, this. Russian mercenary vows to avenge alleged army attack. Moscow denies accusation. Traffic maps of Moscow. There's an absolute panic going on and reporting Wagner columns headed towards Moscow. Give it time. Yeah. It's the Skrulls. All right, another video from Moscow armored vehicles moving to the capital. Yeah, so we've seen a bunch of this already. Let's go back up here to the top of the latest. Wagner just want to get to Moscow, that's all. This is, here's some roadblocks on the highway from Rostov on the Don to Moscow. If it's a meme, it's a very high effort one. No shit. Insiders close to special services of Russian Federation report that some units are refusing to obey the Ministry of Defense and there is panic in the Kremlin. Yeah, we heard the panic line, but that's the first part we've heard of, like, units saying, no, I'm not going to fight the fucking Wagner guys. Are you nuts? Make Moscow look like Bakhmut. Ouch. Marching towards Moscow. Here we go. Putin in his bunker. There's a guy named Hal who's, all right, sure. Military, this is 9 minutes ago. Military police convoy driving towards Ministry of Defense in Moscow. Plenty of ex-U.S. Vatniks like John Dugan and Fiorella Pisabel post photos of Moscow, which has a significantly higher quality of life than most of Russia. I, however, would also like to see more of her pics from current Moscow if the internet is still on. Right. The videos of 2 army vehicles crawling into Moscow mean nothing, in my opinion. Okay. You're right. Dozens, on the other hand, We have crossed the state border in all places. We are entering Rostov. Conscripts were thrown against us and are withdrawing. We keep moving. We are going all the way. Prigozhin. 22 seconds ago. The coup is on. I'm waiting for a Pentagon briefing. The talk of firefights on the highway in Moscow to Moscow seemed giddy. He's about 700 kilometers away from Moscow. Across the state border in all places. Right, there we go. EU member needs Moscow to keep its metro running. What? Take Moscow in 3 days? That's the irony, man. Fuck, if this little group of guys could take Moscow in 3 fucking days after all this, after 15 months of trying to take Kiev. Additional Russian guards have... Yeah, okay. We've seen these parts again. We will jump in there. Let me jump in here with you guys. Don't forget, by the way, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Even if it's just to send me a buck for being right about this. The whole fucking time. And bringing you Philip Ittner, who's also been right about this the whole fucking time. Right? You're welcome. Thank you so much. Look at that. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I hope today is one of those days where I'm earning your support and your respect and your appreciation, because I want you guys to know I don't like wasting anybody's fucking time. Thank you. I don't like sent Dora a tweet. Oh, we gotta wait. We gotta wait until it. I just want to, and it's all gonna be the CIA did it. Like Will is your Prigozhin assholes, Walby. They were all CIA all the whole time. Whatever. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. 51.3K. Look at that. Oh, by the way, Summer's silver button came from YouTube yesterday because her channel already has 100,000 people, and I'm still waiting on mine. So subscribe, will ya? Hunter Biden did it. That's what it was. Yeah, this is going to be a deep state conspiracy to stop people talking about Hunter Biden. Thank you so much for that, Captain Terp. Should have both hours tomorrow. We very well might. I'll ask him. Yeah. That's a great idea. Thank you, Deanne. Love you guys. You guys quit it. Andrea, thank you so much. We're watching. Ukraine Defense Ministry tweeted. Yeah. Super sticker. Thank you so much. Hope Rand Paul is okay. I don't. I hope he's got I hope he's got mud butt right about now. I hope he's just shitting himself silly.
I broke their ass.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Lisa. I love you guys. But at this rate, we might even be able to pay off Chud's medical bills. Thank you so much. And I'm sure, Emily, thank you for the Venmo. That was very lovely. Appreciate that. And where is it? Okay, Moscow, Titan amid groups kill Wagner Group. That's the independent in UK. Thanks, Mark. Hold on. Where'd my... There it is. Couldn't find my cursor. It's terrible. Here we go. Live. Moscow security tighten amid coup fears as Wagner boss accused of urging mutiny. Yep. Security's been tight in Moscow. Dude, we're reporting on this as it happens. In a series of angry video and audio recordings, he accused the defense ministry of Shoigu of ordering a rocket strike on his dudes. Yeah, this is fucking hell. This is it. They're going to march ahead with this shit. Thank you so much. Oh, IOHash, low hash. Is that a lowercase I? Is that an uppercase? Is that an I or a lowercase L? Hard for me to tell from that. Keep an eye on the Russian cat. Yeah, we got to watch Murphy tonight. He's not going to be happy. Not time to spike the ball. I'm not spiking the ball. The blah, thank you so much. Talk coup with Hal Sparks. That's funny. Thank you. Thanks very much. Does Cheddar Chip have a channel? Not yet, but they will. I know you're on topic. Could you get down? I can't say. Thanks. Very sweet. Thank you guys so much. Bless you guys. That's really lovely. Let's take a look. I want to look at, let's jump back up here to the latest again. Stuff is going to continue to roll in. Most of it's going to be comments. My guess is until more video comes out, because I don't doubt that at some point there's going to be a shit. There's going to be a limit on the video that comes out. I have a driving lesson in the morning, and I'm stuck up sitting watching New Russian Revolution. No sleep until Moscow. Gertings. Yeah, so we're back to there. Give me 1 second. I'm going to look at the I'm going to check the Telegram channels again. Baza's coming right up at, yeah, this is right. Hold on 1 second. There's Baza's reporting. Let's see. Prosecutor General Krasnov reported to Putin about a criminal case initiated in connection. Okay, well, yeah. According to him, Prosecutor General informed the president about the legality of these legal actions. So Putin wondered what's the most they could charge Prigozhin with. Movement of cars is blocked along the M4. We know this already because I am fucking on top of this. Yeah, let's jump in the fire. Yep, here's the, let's see. We have cross-state borders, border guards hugged our guys. We are entering Rostov, Prigozhin. There's this one. Yeah, 8-2. Ministry of Defense, the Russian Federation struck the camps of Wagner, according to their channel. Hold on 1 second. I gotta wait. I'm watching a video real quick to make sure there isn't something in here that I can... Okay, so this is Prigozhin's guys, a video they posted after it hit, like they're running from where the bomb hit, in theory, talking about, yeah, they don't know where the strike came from behind. They don't know why they're being hit or where they're being hit. So apparently, good fucking Lord. So they're running to where it happened. And that's blood all over those trees, and that's shredded clothing and people, and look at the spikes and just like wood driven into the ground. I gotta make sure they don't. Hold on. I'm watching this to make sure there isn't anything in here. Don't freak out. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, those are people on fire. So give me a second. Yeah. I can't show that on my channel. But then right after that, that's the strike they're talking about that killed his guys. And yeah, these are Ukrainian with the, yeah, they're moving south. That's the arrow that they're walking behind. One drone discovered the hidden position of Russians near the bridge. Okay, this is another one. These are footage of cleansing a settlement through the eyes of our fighters. Okay, these are, yeah, okay. It's time for good news. Armed forces of Ukraine freed the lands captured back in 2014. Wait for official confirmation. So they've taken land, they've officially crossed into the territory that was lost in 2014. They've moved back the Russians past the area that they had seized after they invaded this time, and are now back to the line right here. This is always, they've been holding this since 2014. This line has existed since 2014. Is the idea. Whoop, that's a bomb landing on the close combat in a building. The enemy is only meters away. This is how they're moving forward, and they're clearing these areas. This is fucking gnarly. God. Okay, I gotta be careful. I can't scroll past this. This particular channel, I have to say, like, some of the stuff I've seen on that channel is nightmarish. Okay, let's see if they've got these guys. Yeah, there's a channel that I have that is like shit that goes down in Moscow, like that one that I had, the truck that crashed, and they're big on showing suicides, and because there's lots of them out in the open in Russia, like people jumping out of windows and jumping in front of trains and shit like that. It's gnarly. Oh dear. Nope. Okay. Can't show that one. There's a guy jumping out of a building. There's a guy eating shit. There's a building on fire and a guy jumping out of a building. There's somebody robbing a place. Okay. All right. That's back to semi-normal. Okay. It's just, by the way, Russians have a tendency to, they ever since they put in safety glass in the Russian subways. These guys just run through and smash them because they know they won't cut you. They just break. So there's lots of videos of that shit too. It's the weirdest thing. Like there's one thing that's on that channel all the fucking time. And yeah. Okay, and this one's I'm trying to find yeah. Okay. Let's go back down to here. That's all right. And I'm checking on all this stuff. Let's see. Air raid sirens are activated in the city of Kiev and a number of Ukraine's central, eastern, and southern oblasts around 2 a.m. Air Force also warned of the threat of drone and missile strikes, largely because they're trying to push back on the idea. This is a great way to hide. They think it's a great way to hide the attack that is happening to them and to blame Ukraine for it. Yeah. Good Lord. Let me go back to the chat room and say hi to you guys. Yeah, they're going to Moscow with an army of 25,000. What channel am I watching? I have several channels on there. Some of them, like I said, are Russian channels. Some of them are like the Kiev Independent, and others. Like when you see stuff on Twitter, it usually comes from the Kiev Independent's Telegram page. And then there's a Baza one as well. Baza is another source from inside Ukraine, and the Baza, there's a Z Baza, which is like the Russians have a mill blogger who runs an anti-Baza thing that just sells this horse shit that Russia's doing well. Yeah, I hope Philip's doing okay too. I mean, he's probably just been, it's 2 o'clock in the morning there. He's just been waking up by at this point by the alarms. It is not on CNN. No, it will not be until something really happens. And because they don't want to, because again, both our military and our, hold on, there we go. Oh my gosh. Carlotta, thank you so much for that. Thank you for gifting the subs. That's really lovely of you guys. The Wagner, what kind of punch? The kidney. I was thinking of pizza for dinner until my brother just told me that when we got pizza had a 12-inch hair in it. Ah, no. My bad. He's gonna... my kidney, my liver. All right, so let's go back up to this one. Latest, imagine being a Wagner soldier mobilizing towards Moscow without air support or 80 coverage. This whole episode is just ridiculous. What do you mean? What are they going to do? Bomb Moscow in the process? There's no good air support the other direction either. That's the thing about cities, you dipshit. Moscow now, according to Western media. I see. So this, by the way, the Wumaos for the Russian Wumaos are going to come out and start defending Russia. This is not really happening. This is not happening. The Russians are kicking ass. Objection. Accused could not organize an armed rebellion because Mr. Shoigu has not provided him with enough ammo. Shows the absurdity of some people thinking Prigozhin is going to take Moscow. Okay, good luck. Leader of the Wagner mercenaries driving to Moscow on a large convoy of military bases, fire tanks, carriers on the street. Nothing to see here. Yeah. At least he's invading Moscow in the summer. Yeah, he learned the lesson of history, I suppose. Yeah, more of those. Same videos we've seen. Keeping the pressure on the Russians is probably the most effective thing Ukraine can do right now. Let the pressure boil over in Moscow. Agreed. I mean, they've got to take this push. Russian authorities are, I mean, just the fact, here's the thing. Just the fact that they've ordered charges against this asshole is big enough. Like, without him going to Moscow, without the attack, the fact that he accused them of bombing his guys and he threatened a coup, and now they've got a price on his head. In any sane universe, which clearly those Mandela effect, the Large Hadron Collider, you screwed us all up. That in any sane universe, that would be enough to almost end this entire conflict. Like, what? Wait, what's happening? Their paramilitary group is fighting with their military, and it's open warfare now? That's enough? You shitting me? Military checkpoints in Russia. Right there we go. These are people filming out their window. Checking everybody who comes in. Yeah, that's that Axis thing. Police fans. Military is just, yeah. They're like, what? 2 vehicles is no big deal. Like, motherfucker, two vehicles is a big deal. And there's 50. Why aren't they on the front lines? Yeah, that military unit, the fire at the military base, that's a much, like, there's got to be footage of that, like, better footage coming out. Also, can I show you guys something real quick? Hold on. Let me show you something that this is kind of related but not related. I'm going to bring you into this. So when I studied Sistema, Russian fighting style, one of the things that you see in this, there is they teach you the art of fighting with lots of people at once, like big fucking group fights, like huge fights, like dudes just fighting each other for the fuck of it. Okay, Russian group fights. I've shown this before a little bit. I won't show too much of it. Where we go? Yeah. Hold on. Let me go. Group street fights. There we go. Try to get this one in here. Crazy Russians, massive group fight. 2 groups are going red versus blue. Yeah, so here I'll show you what I mean. So these guys, this is in the middle of fucking snow, and then a regular frozen shitty afternoon, and then this shit happens, and then this guy come over, and then these guys start facing off, and then they all start dicking with each other, and then there's a big just bludgeoning fight where they punch the shit out of each other, and then they drag a guy out of a car, they beat him up, and this guy's spitting his teeth into the fucking snow, and then there's lots of this. Hold on, there's big ones like this. Hold on, I'll show you. The Russian hooligan fights. Yeah, so they just fucking do this. They just to do it. You got nothing better to do? This is like something out of like when you're a jet all the way from the fly. There's a lot of build up to this, and then they roll in, and then it starts. There we go. There you go. This is just a bunch of knuckleheads beating, kicking, and fighting each other just cuz. Just ridiculous. Just like this is pretty Russian, pretty fucking Russian all the time. That's how Moscow's still trending at the top. Let's go back to here. There it is. Let's see the latest. Wagner military marching on Moscow, coup on defense ministry. Okay, there you go. Moscow and Rostov. Moscow and Moscow. A lot of accounts out there thinking Wagner's headed for Moscow, but that's nowhere near the front. Shoigu was last reported in Rostov. He's been the one clearly being targeted. They said they were going to Rostov on their way, I guess, is the idea. Wagner owner Prigozhin says his forces in Ukraine have driven to the Russian city of Rostov, facing no resistance. Also, by the way, if he kills the head of the Ministry of Defense and Putin's main guy who's directing the war in Ukraine, what do you think? Putin's just going to shrug it off? They're going to, yeah, okay, we got the guy we didn't like. Putin, go back to ordering strikes on my guys. What? Revolving door jokes about Swan Lake, polonium tea, and Moscow-based defenestration stations. Right. Our girls are killing innocent people in Ukraine. Putin was very happy. Now they're in Moscow. Karma is real. Yeah. Something serious in Moscow right now. Under cover of darkness. Apparently some sort of coup going on. Some sort. Armed vehicles. Are we at this stage? Yeah. Right. There's no military equipment seen in Moscow. Peskov. And there they are. The stab in the back for the country and President Putin, declares Russian Lieutenant General Alexeyev. Yeah, we saw that guy earlier. That one picture's floating around. Yeah, these are the fucking dipshits that are with him. Another Russian convoy in Moscow. This time made up of 7 KMAZ 5350s. These are dudes. They're bringing in troops or policemen, depending on who they're pulling up. No panic at Ministry of Defense. Now at the Ministry of Defense, military vehicles are rolling up. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's totally fine. No, it's all good. Yeah, this is super good. This is exactly what we wanted. It's not want to be at 2 a.m. It's not like Putin was having trouble sleeping in the first fucking place. There's no panic in Moscow and St. Petersburg. People walk around the central streets of the 2 capitals of Russia and dance to the music. Yeah, because they haven't heard about this shit yet. They're drunk and they're out in the night, dummy. They don't know this is going down. Anybody who wasn't watching TV are like, I don't know, what's all the hubbub about, bub? Is there Moscow? What's this guy trying? Yeah, okay. So these are all foreign sites posting footage and translating it. Bakhmut. This is the whole turn Russia into Bakhmut, or leftovers Wagner on the outskirts of Bakhmut open fire on the regular roads of the Russian Federation. Our assault brigades see everything. Systematic strikes are now being carried out on the positions of the Russians. Holy shit. 3 hours ago, Ukrainian Bakhmut demon. The impression is that part of the Russian regular troops are killing their own, and it seems that part of the military is supporting Prigozhin. While it's not clear what is finally happening, it is a bloodbath. Holy shit. The leftovers of Wagner's are on the outskirts of Bakhmut open fire on the regular roads of the Russian Federation. Our assault brigades see everything. Systematic strikes are now being carried out on the positions of the Russians by the Wagnerites. This is not Ukraine talking about their forces. Bombings real reported, perhaps one of the craziest moments in Russian history. You goddamn right it is. Bakhmut accessors Chuck Fair. Ukraine established an artillery crossfiring targeting the Russian salient along this with his beaten zone. This is 48 minutes ago. Dozens of RU artillery systems towed and self-propelled have been destroyed. Meanwhile, in Bakhmut, Kiev is concentrating forces near Artemivsk, taking advantage of Prigozhin's provocation, the Ministry of Defense reported. The Defender's 25 today. Good for him. Taking advantage of Prigozhin's provocation to disorganize the situation. The Kiev regime in the Bakhmut tactical direction is concentrating units. 34th. Yeah, we saw this earlier as well. Take advantage of the chaos. Ukraine has taken the advantage of the situation to begin attacking Bakhmut, according to Russian news sources. Russian news sources are in panic. Clearing positions. This is them firing into holes, and then they throw in a fire back to get the guys back in there, and then they throw a grenade deep inside there. So there's nobody near the opening, and then they go and hose the place down or collapse the tunnel on top of them, turn into a grave. Before Putin came to this peaceful city of, ladies and gentlemen, shit. Russian MOD talks about intensification of Ukrainian activities in Bakhmut. Yep, we saw this. Ukrainian forces reportedly conducting. Okay, we'll look at the latest around Bakhmut. See if there's Moscow in 3 days. Might not even take that long. These Wagner guys are welcomed on their march to Moscow. Yeah, that's the thing about it, is that they're not going to meet resistance. Fuck. This shit is on Putin. He created this monster. It's unacceptable that after Bakhmut spectacle, no action was taken. All Putin does is give the same BS speeches, lack of result. This guy's very upset that Putin's not the leader he thinks he is. The Chief General Staff of the Russian Federation just gave the command to raise the helicopters and open fire at the Wagner columns Prigozhin 5 minutes ago, according to War Monitor on Al Jazeera. Look at this, like the number of people like simping for Russia in the chase, because that's their job. They're sitting in Macedonia at a computer, and their job is to nah, it's nothing. They get a message from somebody and they just fight it. So what's happening currently? Russia going against Russia? This guy, PSYOP. They're cloaking an offensive like I predicted. My guess, Kharkiv. Yeah, the Russians are attacking in Kharkiv. They're going to take it over. Everybody's saying PSYOP. What's the point of said PSYOP? Exactly. Why would you make yourself look like that big of an asshole? He says, show us the columns or sit down. Up to now, we have posturing in Moscow. One video of bodies that claims it was a result of the next. Still no evidence. Actually happened. Great. Russia is loosing. Mordor is burning. Orcs, blah, blah, blah. National Guard is present in Moscow. Russian MOD claims Ukraine is preparing to seize on. Yeah, of course they're going to. Of course, and even if they don't, they're going to say it. Russia starts an elaborate ruse, and unsuspecting pro-UA make a home run with it. It takes one to be gullible. Oh shit. Takes one to be gullible to believe anything Prigozhin says, especially after Bakhmut. Right. These are the guys coming after. Sky News. Wagner boss accuses Russian military leaders of targeting his troops. Yeah, this is what started all this. He's been posting videos all this time. So, according to TASS, he's been made aware of it, right? We saw this piece before. And then it's not an armed rebellion. This is but a march of justice. This is the part I tweeted this earlier when this shit was starting to get real, and now it is. Because everybody's like, is this a coup? Is this a coup? I think this might be a coup. All right. Yeah, that's from that video. And Ukrainians in Bakhmut, just blazing through town. Right. Now, there's still mines everywhere. They got to go slow to some degree. Ukrainian army is taking advantage of Prigozhin's provocation. This is just war footage from something else. I doubt it's timely because it's nighttime there. Take advantage of Prigozhin's provocation to disrupt the situation. The Kiev regime is concentrating units at 35th. Yep, that's this part. That's where they're moving in and pushing back. There aren't enough Russians to do anything about it. More fucking updates from an already batshit crazy situation. The Russian military has seemingly started shooting each other in Bakhmut. Yep. So crazy. Is this just crawling across? I mean, this has got to be jacking out. Like right now. Hold on. I'm going to update the trends on this. Why is Don Lemon beating this out? What the shit? Did he get his job back? You can try to sugar. I don't have a job now. Reserves an award show. Don Lemon. I may not be on CNN, but I'm still a journalist. Cool. Don Lemon said Michelle Obama is better looking than Melania Trump. Vernon, who cares? God damn, this is useless. Yeah, like, do you realize what? I mean, obviously, somebody at Elon Musk's Twitter is trying to bump something to the top that will give some red meat to his fucking idiot fans on there. Because look at the rest of this shit. Moscow, Prigozhin, Bakhmut, Wagner, murder, and WhatsApp. That's the Hunter Biden shit. Wagner's down in here. There we go. News coming out of Russia. This is happening. PMC Wagner wonders where Putin is. Prigozhin okay, let's look at the latest on this because it's all going to be coup d'etat. Why is Wagner attacking Russia? I don't know. Ask him, dumb fuck. If you don't know by now, Bitcoin dickhead. I'm not sure we should be shilling for what Wagner here. I want liberalism to come to Russia, not a military government. Yeah, nobody's shilling for them. Wagner Maoism now. Same as in action. Prigozhin are emphatic calls for an armed civil conflict in the territory of the Russian Federation. Cool, whatever. Not my problem. Civil war started in Russia. Putin's military attack. Wagner mercenaries. Yeah, so that's the footage that they're saying that I just showed you. Was the attack on his camp. Don't know why they're all right up. The Wagner group is just mobilizing to denazify Moscow. Yeah, those two dickheads. I mean, this only ends with fucking with Prigozhin dead or something else. YouTube pulled the video down of CBS, the CBS video. Weird. CNN's finally on the story. All right. I was telling people for a long time, I'm sure you're true. So Wagner is trying to overthrow Putin. It might be. I don't think they're trying to overthrow him. I think they will be satisfied with just killing him. I'm about 1 hour ahead of CNN. They are monitoring. I try to be. Partly thanks to you guys, because I was doing, I was looking into stuff that was, on my palette for the night, and you bring it up, I'll jump to it and we'll start discussing it. And we'll obviously have a lot to talk about on the radio show tomorrow, because this is going to be a long fucking night in Russia. Wow. Hold on, let me jump over to here real quick. with this. I have to, like I said, got to make sure I'm not showing any accidental stuff. Here's Astra. Yeah, there's that footage. Okay, so this is the latest thing. The VK is that is Russian Facebook. This thing right here. Hold on, I'm gonna put it on here. VK not Katka, whatever. That's the Russian Facebook. Began blocking the publication of Prigozhin's statements based on a fresh demand from the prosecutor general's office. So they told him to shut it down. You know, freedom of the press. Fake news. It's so fake news. Let's see. I don't sleep. I update the news feed. The head of Sevastopol, Rosviev. Maybe now I don't sleep. I update the news feed. Any conflict is bad. A conflict to this level, bad in the extreme. None of us now has all the information in order to draw conclusions. Now we all need faith in our country and then the president and support of our guys who heroically hold the front. He hope. Yeah. Good luck with that, dickhead. And yeah, we saw this one here. Putin is reported around the clock on the measures taken in connection with an attempted armed rebellion around the clock. I mean, he's monitoring it right now. I don't know, like around the clock with this. Prigozhin, chief of the gave the command to open fire from aircraft on Wagner columns in the middle of civilian vehicles. The pilots, he said, refused to obey the order. There goes that dude's idea that the Wagner guys don't even have air support. Wow. It's a shame that Moscow doesn't have those traffic cams you can go to all the time. You know what I mean? That would be fucking interesting. Okay, again, jumping back to here. 1 second, if I may. Kiev Post. They're marking the fact that there are air raid sirens in Kiev right now. Hopefully, our dear friend Philip Ittner is okay. So, air raid has been declared across Ukraine entirely, because Russia's gonna, like, in a panic. They're gonna, it makes sense that they would fire just a Hail Mary and just launch a bunch of shit, and they're not gonna, be found wanting. So whether they're coming or not, the Ukrainians are gonna make sure that everybody's covered in case there's some sort of like flak that comes in here. So, Astra's back there. We have cross-state borders. There's that one. Astra's back there. I've noticed, if I can, whoops, hold on 1 second. The Russian channels that I have they've stopped updating. Like the pro-Russian blogger channels stopped updating shit. Some of them stopped 5 hours ago. That's amazing. At 5, I'm going to drop off right at 5 o'clock so you guys can go monitor it on your own as well. But yeah, Elon is trying to dust up. Russian internet is down. That's right. So we're going to see a lack of video coming out of there for the next little bit. Yeah, Russian Media Monitor will come for some stuff as well. We're all concerned about Philip because we know there are many people in Ukraine and Russia in danger right now. I worry about somebody's grandma too, Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, all the mill bloggers, the pro-Russian folks, including Ritter and all those guys, I haven't seen any on their Telegram channels. I don't see anything past noon today. We know nothing. We know nothing. I'm sure Dylan Burns is yeah. Russian internet is down. I don't know. I'm here for the kiddies. There's a war starting, Hal. No Friday night for you. Blah, ha, ha. Right. I might pop back on. It might happen. But like I said, there's plenty of stuff happening on its own. There's the PM. Wagner. This guy, under Russian law, Wagner is an illegal organization. Would expect what happened when he outlived his usefulness. Right. Well, maybe that was wholly the plan: is drive it up, develop as much like friendship amongst the other guys in there. And, like the Russian military that are sick of Putin sending them to die, and then use those guys to actually stage a coup of his own. Hold on 1 second. I will return. Give me 1 second if I can. be right back. Okay, hold on one second. I was trying to bring up something and check this other thing, and like I said, I don't want to accidentally put something on the air that will be awful. So let me check this other thing. It's not worth it to chase down that shit. Whatever. Putin's generals turn the Wagnerites with a request. Let's see. Yeah. So on here's this other site. I had to go dig it up real quick, but this is all happening right now. FSB and other security officials in Moscow raise the alarm. Putin is underestimating Prigozhin's rise in popularity. Planned fortress announced in Moscow and Rostov region. Toa, okay, where is it? FSB of Russia opened a criminal case against him. This is what we've been watching happen intermixed with all of this stuff. We are 25,000. We're going to sort things out. Prigozhin announced a missile attack on Wagner, and this is where it started pretty much. And then FSB demands Wagnerites to detain Prigozhin, and then Putin's generals turned to the Wagnerites with a request. They were harshly answered. This is the part where this is the sort of the newest part of this. Putin's generals turned to Surovikin said the enemy is just waiting for the internal political situation in our country to worsen. Surovikin, who was praised by Prigozhin, urged to stop the PMC convoy and submit to Putin. I have just arrived on the orders of leadership of the Ministry of Defense from the front line where our troops are fighting the enemy to the death with superior enemy forces, suffering losses, but standing in their positions. I appeal to leadership, commanders, and fighters of the Wagner PMC. We, bonjour, fought together with you, suffered losses, won together. We are of the same blood. We are warriors. Surovikin said that the enemy is only waiting for the internal political situation to worsen. We saw that. Can't play into their hands before it's too late. You need to obey the will and order of the popularly elected president. We saw that part. Solve all the problems only peacefully. There's also an appeal from the first deputy of that, Alexeyev. We saw that. AP Wagner channel responded to generals. The commanders of the PMC Wagner, remain loyal to the most promising politician and will carry out any of his orders. Neither the FSB nor Surovikin will be able to stop what has begun. All the generals who, with trembling hands, appealed to the musicians to stop have actually signed their own sentence. There will be a tribunal. Surovikin will still be responsible for the surrender of Kherson, the statement said. Fucking hell. I guess so. I'm curious, man. I wonder if I guarantee the RT channels aren't playing this live. I wonder if Solovyev was on fucking line when this shit went down. From Russia taking Kiev in 3 days to Russians taking Moscow in 3 days. Exactly. That is exactly it. Whew. Could this be the end of Putin? Yeah. I mean, I don't think tonight. That would seem like a lot, but at this point, I guess everybody needs to go over and tell Philip Ittner, like, hats off, man. It's like you said, it's like a hockey stick. It's just flat for a long time and then pow. Mm-hmm. Can you see share Summers channel name? Yes. I think it's Summer 11. I will. I want to get it right. How might need to get those glasses AJ uses? All right. This is why we love how he actually reads through articles and adds just the right humor to make it bearable to stay knowledgeable on American politics. That's what I'm shooting for. Asked for it already. Excellent. Asked for it already. Okay, good. This must be taking its Tolstoy on Putin. You with the thing. And then Tara Reid just moved there. Bad timing. This is friggin' crazy. All right, let's look at the latest. Let's see what the way too much smoke. See if the psyop are meaningless. What's this dude talking about? AI risk and geopolitics having a grand old time the year. Okay. Seriously, Wagner forces are moving anywhere near Rostov, let alone Moscow. Another reminder, there's no visual evidence of Wagner PMC units in Rostov or anywhere else. Once visual evidence starts to appear, we can see what's going on. These are Vatniks. These are the tankies that are like, this is not really, this is bullshit. There's so much crazy news. If Wagner PMC leaves Ukraine is a big win for Ukraine in the war, that is true. However, the Russian civil war should have you shitting your pants. Please don't cheer for war just because Putin is an evil man. There are Russian civilians getting toyed with by oligarchs and their egos. I agree. I don't think I'm looking for them to kill any civilians or even the soldiers that are ordered to protect Putin. That's the thing. And it looks like they're standing down. So far, boy, is this a popcorn moment. I know. What I tell you. Come on now. Police and National Guard are well-trained as the frontline units. Wagner will do some damage. Still probably won't have the numbers to actually make a lasting change. Nice distraction from Ukraine to capitalize on, though. Distraction? Jesus Christ, man. Distraction. Prigozhin claimed on his Telegram channel that he has lots of support among Russian conventional forces, including pilots who refuse to bomb Wagner armed forces on the move. If any confirmation of this claim, please post. We saw that one little piece, Michael McFall. That was, I don't know if that's confirmation. It was coming from, it's hard to say. It's coming from Russian interior sources. OSINT Defense. The Russian Ministry of Defense has announced, 36. We saw that as well. Let's see. Kiev Independent. Wagner mercenary chief calls for armed rebellion. It's going to happen. This is going to start stacking. Now people are going to start retweeting stuff from an hour ago to play catch up in this shit. Hold on. And I will go back to here. And then we will jump in the fire. 4:50. What time is it? Okay. So we're at 5 o'clock. This is this guy. Hold on one second. It's from Baza. Long traffic jam in Volganovsk interchange near Rostov-on. Earlier tasks reported on blocking of traffic on the M4 towards Aksai at the exit of Rostov-on. This is they're slowing all traffic through there on that road. They're convinced that there's like satellite groups of guys in trucks and shit, like they're gonna start searching vehicles. And then this one again. VK blocking the statements from there. That they just posted that other one that I just saw. And then oops, there you go. Astra just jumped up another one. There's a bump up here. Let me translate this real quick. Oh shit. Check this out. Street webcams stop working in Rostov-on-Don. The site with the video from the cameras says access to the broadcast is temporarily limited. That's what it, look at this. All the traffic cams are down on where that bridge is, where the Wagner guys are supposedly coming through. Shit's getting real. This is going to be nuts. Tomorrow's show with Philip Ittner is going to be lit. Oh, my Lord. And can I say, for the record, I love all of you, and I want to have your babies. It's just amazing to be here on a night like this with you guys. Because, man, this is this is immeasurably huge. Philip is okay. They are aerating. He is okay. Yes, he's okay. He's going to be fine. By end of July, we may have no more Putin. Shit, by the end of the week. Yeah, all cameras are off there. Slava Ukraine. Absolutely. Yeah, that was in Rostov. That's south of Moscow. So here, I'll show you. Hold on one second. Bring this back up. This guy right here. This is in that Rostov-on-Don area south of Moscow, where they said they were headed, where Shoigu supposedly is, where those guys are going to presumably find and kill Shoigu for bombing his dudes. Fucking hell. So yeah, so this is the area we were just looking at this a second ago. This is Rostov-on-Don. This right here. This road. Okay. 8 minutes ago, we were looking at this video that somebody posted of this backed up traffic where they've stopped everything. And 8 minutes later, this happened. All the street cameras went off in that area. Just fucking wow. You have to get through Seagal to get to Putin. Yeah, you're gonna I guess, does anybody have a donut? Love you guys. Hope this is it. Yeah, well, I don't know. Putin may disappear. Yeah. Red Sky at Night, Wagner Delight, Boom Booms Happen, Sun Tzu, right. Pray for the innocent, absolutely. My friend in real life is thinking Putin ditched to a secret bunker. I wouldn't rule it out. Yeah. And he's got one of his body doubles sitting there like a dickhead waiting for this hammer to come down. Good Lord. It's a good time for Ukraine to step up its offensive? Maybe. Again, slow and steady. Just take it back, because it's not going to get any better. These guys aren't going to rush back to the front after this shit. As a matter of fact, if they think they can, they're going to bug the fuck out. You give them time to bug the fuck out. No idea what the Wagner guy looks like, but based on everything I've read about him, this is what I'm imagining. Nope. He looks like Uncle Fester. Yeah. Let's see with this guy. Let's see how they Moscow, Putin and Trump. Okay, so yeah. Let's go to Moscow again, because yeah, this will be the top of it. We'll look at the latest. Mercy plan is reportedly activated in Moscow. We saw that part already. Putin nukes Moscow out of spite. Ukraine says, guess we're done here. That's funny. Yes. This is going to trigger mutual assured destruction. What the fuck are you talking about? He's going to bomb himself? What is he going to... How does that help anything, stupid? Just means the guys around him will help Wagner kill him. South African delegation headed to Moscow to present a proposal for peace between Moscow and Wagner. Yeah. That's funny. Moscow on alert after Kremlin calls for arrest of mercenary group leader. Yep. We'll take Ukraine 3 days for an invade. We'll take, yeah. Russian government has been accused the head of Wagner of armed rebellion. Yep. We're way up on this. You guys are way ahead of this shit. Putin and Trump. This was related to this stupid shit with Harry wanting to interview them about their childhood trauma like an asshole. Like, what was it that hurt you that made you a bad person? I just realized I could get fucking laid if I treat people like shit, and yeah, you get a lot of ass and a lot of money and good food if you treat people like shit in certain areas. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. Trauma. Fuck out of here. Source says there's panic in the Kremlin. No one can reach Putin. Source right now, the Kremlin is negotiating with something with General Duman. Some people in the Kremlin from the presidential administration are finding out about a possible emergency relocation. One of the few available destinations is Uruguay. What? This is from Russian media. No one can reach Putin, and they think they might be flying him out of the country to Uruguay. How many Putins are there? It's a mix-up of Putin's doubles, officially noted by the Russian media and on the Kremlin's official website during a live broadcast of the meeting with members of the Russian Security Council led by Vladimir Putin. Okay, yeah. It was in certain moments like this that Americans used to turn to Tucker Carlson program on Fox News for the authoritative Kremlin point of view. That's all right, Sir David. There you go. They shut down the traffic cams. Yeah, there we go. Wagner leader Prigozhin says forces have entered Russian city of Rostov facing no resistance. They won't, by the way. Kremlin QAnon is having a normal one. Generally speaking, Telegram is freaking the fuck out. Uh-huh. A group of presumably Rosgvardia vehicles were spotted moving outside. Yeah, okay, that's related to the shit we already saw. Two of the pioneers of the U.S. Army PSYOP stationed at Fort Bragg with Flynn were Michael Aquino, a serial pedophile who started the satanic couple of set, and Paul Vallely, currently a full-time Kremlin QAnon propagandist. Flynn shares mind war with his operatives. Ugh, God, these assholes. I gotta have Jim on the show sometime. I'd love to talk to that dude. What do you think? I have no idea even what his voice sounds like. Kremlin has closed its entrance to museums for visitors starting tomorrow. A refund for tickets is promised. All right, well, that's optimistic, I think. Sure. What do you mean? Will the country be open or not? I don't know. Sorry to say. Official information from the Kremlin just published on there. Putin greeted his nation on Youth Day. Oh, that's nice. I can help. And then, as the criminal conspiracy using cyber is exposed, there's increasing little need to hide its purpose. 4 examples of Flynn digital soldier, neo-Nazi Kremlin propagandist Jack Posobiec using PSYOP as a projection in the last few hours. Right, yeah, they're all going to say this stupid shit. Latest on the Kremlin, there we go. Alors, c'est l'enfranchement parce que tu... Okay. Well, friend, military activity is starting in Krasnodar too. Good times. Prigozhin's private army has made it to the Kremlin in Moscow. Leaked footage from Mosin. All right, yeah. Okay. Simmer. Explosion, nuclear occurred. Okay, that's 2019. Kremlin. Okay, these are all in. We looked at that before, but in English. There would be almost 1,000 kilometers. Military column would take more than a day after everyone in the Kremlin has been warned. If tanks are also escorted, I'm at a loss. I don't know what he's referencing, but we'll see. So far, no confirmations, videos, or photos of Prigozhin's previous statements that the Wagner mercenaries have allegedly entered Rostov-on. Local media won't confirm it. What if they get to Moscow? They can get 1,000 kilometers at that speed. They can be there by dawn. We simply, can't tell what's truly happening. Prigozhin has a history of exaggerations. This guy, you think this guy, former lecturer, Anglo-American Society, Culture, SDAU, China, he has a Scottish policy, thinks Scotland, substacker. Okay, what do you think? Pro-Moscow douchebag? Let's see. We simply can't tell what's truly happening. Prigozhin has a history of exaggerations, but the Putin regime has faced hot criticism from the hardline nationalists over their handling of the conflict. Maybe the Kremlin be provoking this now, or is this as spontaneous as we think? It's hard to even say. Fuck knows. This is this part. Prigozhin and Wagner calling for a Russian National Guard to join his side to fight against the Russian army. Moscow time. Prigozhin's forces into Rostov-on. Russian Ministry of Defense insisted on Prigozhin's Wagner Group signing contracts with the ministry. Oh yeah, by the way, I think I can show you guys footage of that shit. Let's see. It'll be hard to find MOD video of him. It's gonna be under all this other shit because all this stuff is happening. All right, quit it. I misspelled it. Crap. There you go. Just copy and paste. Boom. Copy. There you go. And then we go to here. We go to go quit it. Paste. Prigozhin presents documents. Let's see what this might. Okay. Top of the list. Top. Okay. All right. Present. Let's see. I'll find the footage later if I can. Meanwhile, in Russia, yeah, they blocked VK blocked them. There you go. This is the latest. there was I'll look at video of him because there'll be a bunch of this video, but also you might be able to see this. 20 minutes ago shows calm streets downtown. So far, there's zero evidence of Prigozhin successfully mobilized anything except a lot of attention online and felony. Okay, blah, blah, blah. See if I can find the footage of it because he showed up at the MOD because he had to personally drop off this paperwork to formally put Wagner under the control of the Russian military. And he did it in person. And apparently, like, he wanted to hand it to Shoigu and God knows fucking probably choke him to death. So he went there to drop it off. And Shoigu wasn't there. Apparently he's in Rostov, oh wait, this is it, I think. Yeah, here it is. Goes to the Ministry of Defense to hand over the signed agreement, which would allegedly subordinate PMC Wagner to this. Yeah. Incredibly bizarre video published by Yevgeny Prigozhin. Went to Russia's Ministry of Defense to hand over the signed agreement, which would allegedly subordinate Wagner to the Ministry of Defense. This is on June 16th. Prigozhin and Shoigu are playing a game of intrigue, English translation. So there's this. He goes in. Hello, can I hand over a letter? That's nice. He puts it in an envelope for him. So he dropped this shit off. And this is either his letter. I'm stacking without the folders. They don't fit. Yeah, it's too big. They're just too big for the envelope these assholes gave me. You know how it is. Paperwork, 2 copies, of course. We want to be completely upfront about the entire thing. You know, he's nothing if not a professional. Before he was a chef for Putin, he used to work at the Russian version of Office Depot. And so he seals it in there and hands it over and goes to, like, I don't know, he teabags it to let him know it's really him. There's a suspicious package sitting there the entire fucking time. Private military company. Look, I'm taping everything. This will go out all over the media. Did you get it? Excellent. Did you get it? Okay, I handed it in. She ran away somewhere. Yep. Oh, so he hasn't given him.
Все снято, да? Да. Я только что пытался передать письмо министру обороны.
They're not accepting the letter.
Поэтому сейчас будем его публичить.
And now we will make it public.
Красивая реакция, да?
She closed it so suddenly. Well, apparently there's a strong restriction.
Ну, видимо, запрет сильно стоит.
Like, how are you if you're that guy that window doesn't just fucking open and they just blow your fucking brains out? Like that, these guys must just be hard as fucking nails after this. Just on the side, it was a strict prohibition document from Wagner. They said anyone who accepts the documents will immediately be, this is the official letter. Right. She immediately hung up the phone, although I saw earlier today everyone coming in were able to hand over documents without problems. So apparently it's you.
И курьерские доставки были, такие доставки были, всех принимали.
Accepted everything except his letter. Does his letter say fuck you? Is that the idea? Is that he's turning in a letter that says no? This is great for me, you know? Right now, I've arrived to hand over the documents to Shoigu Sergei Kushgodovich.
А именно, 2 экземпляра
2 copies of the agreement signed from my side.
стороны договора. Это сопроводительное
It's the cover
письмо.
letter.
Это
The text of the agreement that I was supposed to hand over to him.
который я должен был ему передать. Договор.
The agreement. And his signature's on the bottom, I guess, or he's signed he's initialed every
С моими
page.
подписями.
With my signature, unfortunately, the woman got scared. I feel sorry for her. She's under strong restrictions. Slammed the window and ran away.
У нее строгий запрет. Захлопнула окно и убежала. Поэтому, как и в предыдущие разы, придется
the public sphere, although this document has the corresponding signatures.
В публичной сфере, хотя это документ, который имеет
Публичной сфере, the public sphere.
Попробую передать это в администрацию президента.
Anyways, he did this shit. He handed this thing over, or tried to hand it over a couple of days ago. And then this has continued to escalate since then, to the point where after he tried to turn in his paperwork to put his organization formerly under the MOD, they apparently fired a missile, according to him, on his guys. Let's see. Hard not to conclude that Prigozhin is protected by someone other than Putin now. Prigozhin is directly challenging Putin's regime. After Shoigu and Putin publicly ordered to disband Wagner PMC due to this video, he again threatened Shoigu with death. Today is the 5th. Yes, there's no one left, and the divisions have partially withdrawn from the Wagner line, and particularly everyone else came. Yeah, because they bailed out of Bakhmut. They're like, we saved it for you, so fuck that. So Moscow is back here. We go to the latest. Breaking road blocked in Rostov. That's the place that just had the, just had the traffic cameras shut down. So they just blocked the road with trucks. And people just got the fuck out, I guess. There's definitely dudes with guns. And who knows if those are Wagner guys, though. That's the interesting thing. But 25th of June, March of thing. Right, it's just a bunch. I mean, this is how Wagner Group walking into Moscow. Wagner Group says their invasion of Ukraine. Okay, unjustified. Yeah, this is the other thing too. Is the Wagner Group says Russia's invasion of Ukraine unjustified. This is where it turns, and they're like, he was always a CIA asset and always another. Oh my God, that's a great one. Look at this. Look at this Biden one. No more malarkey. It's fantastic. Hold on one second. I'm going to bring out something as well, if I may, and go back to you guys. There we go. Hi. I'm to supply Ukraine with 20 more Marder infantry fighting vehicles in the summer, if they even need them. I hear Putin runs like Steven Seagal. Yes, only, but in smaller strides, I guess. I spent 10 years following Russia. Well, you're about to bump into them when they come to an abrupt stop. The coupon for timbers. It's wild to watch happen live. It absolutely is. Call Malcolm Nance. I agree. Will Putin use nukes now? No. On what? I gotta say, like, yeah. So people are catching up. This is all the stuff we've been looking at is finally making it to the front of the line. Yeah. Okay, flash latest, 1 hour. Several units, 45th Airborne Brigade, refused to leave the barracks against the Wagnerites, reports Cheku Ogpu. We saw that earlier, OGPU. Military equipment was put up near the buildings of the Ministry of Defense in Moscow. The Oman and the Sober units of the Russian Guard were raised on alarm in Moscow. Reserve dachas on Yovka have been taken under protection. Operational staff are waiting for new introductory. Everyone is ordered to wait. In Rostov, also military equipment on the streets. Roads are blocked. Helicopters fly over houses. This is good to hear. This guy's just blazing. These are bugging out. These are people coming out and shooting out off their balconies as trucks and shit come in, or noises. Planes flying by. Helicopters. Some dude like loitering in some trucks. Nice flip phone, dude. And then this one. Yep, there's those guys. And then the TASS, that's TASS's station. How old is the cell phone camera? Yeah, seriously. That's a high quality Russian phone, man. What do you want? It's the shit. This is the fire.
Ночь.
What?
С 23 на 24 июня. Фрезино.
Something's over there. Those assholes are lighting their farts again. FSB Wagner, there we go. Riot police, National Guard troops reportedly on alert tonight in Moscow amid Prigozhin's calls for armed insurrection. Right. And it's in Rostov, where Prigozhin is suggesting he wants to strike Shoigu, but extra security in the capital shows how scared everyone is. Agreed. Yeah, kinda holy shit. Kremlin is up there as well. Most of this will be the same stuff, just with a different tide name. Russian emergency at Kremlin. There's a police cars going by 6 seconds ago. That's when they posted this. I don't know how that particular thing. Of course, it's a CIA info op to confuse Kremlin and watch reactions so they can gauge info hierarchy. Of course. Jackson, Russia's creating defensive preparations around Moscow despite the fact that Rostov is 13 hours away. Generals are putting out videos for Wagner columns to stop despite the fact no one's been deployed. Kremlin has not called for the direct arrest of Prigozhin. Yeah, they have. And it's not 13 hours away. The fuck are you talking about? Who's this? Abby So Maddie? Secondary glitchy magic, follow drink from a fire. Okay, whatever. God wins. Okay, this is Q. And then this dickhead. Lots of fake news about Prigozhin versus Russian MOD story. Let me explain it simply. If this is all real, Prigozhin will be arrested and /ended. If this is fake, it will somehow fade away into nothing. Somehow. As of right now, it seems as though both sides are over-dramatizing the story. Both sides are over-dramatizing the fake story. Both sides of what? Russia and Prigozhin? Russia's creating defense preparation. Okay. There's nothing major happening in Russia, just war formation tactics. Yes. Just in line with Russian TV propaganda. Nevis, good boy. Listen to your master's instructions. Exactly. It's a deep psyop, I think, and it's playing very well. Yes, it's so deep that it's gone. It's got meat and bone on it. 3 days of the Kremlin. That's becoming a statement because that's what they, it was supposed to be. They were supposed to be able to take Kiev in a weekend. Where's this one? That doesn't look good. It's hard to tell where some of this shit is from. Anyways, from Ostap Bender. Where's this guy from? Russia's collapsing, Russian civil war. My take on this main question is Prigozhin is acting of his own volition or if someone powerful or group is behind him and has a will to take it as far as possible. Many oligarchs lost money and are under sanctions and willing to lend a helping hand. I agree. I mean, I do think that's what I'm saying. There's a bunch of these assholes who would be very happy to see this dickhead, see Putin murdered and start from scratch. Unconfirmed reports, Telegram shows something resembling civil wars brewing in Russia. The feud between Prigozhin, MOD, military collapses. Yeah. You gotta translate them, dum-dum. Yeah, and this is the strike point that we were showing before, where there's blood all over these trees, and then the trench nearby is full of just dead Wagnerites. Ukraine Russian war military base of Russian National Guards was destroyed in Kinchitsik. Wow, that's fucking way inside. That was before all this shit. Yeah. City of Bakhmut, once a thriving, densely populated hub, right, will be once again. Ukraine update. The rocket hit on the Chongar bridges will double one of the supply routes of the Russian army. This is where they used to drive through here, and now they've got to go this way and over here to go around through stuff, and that puts them perilously close to troops that are already taking this area. They got bigger fucking fish to fry. Like, this is going to be yesterday's news. Literally. Approximately the same is being done now in Zaporizhia region. Among the unit commanders, there is an understanding that it will almost be impossible to hold positions or achieve victory. At the same time, the Russian military is very annoyed by this soothing tone of their media. This is yesterday or 2 days ago. Soothing tone of their media. That's one way of putting it. Shit. Kremlin doesn't know where he is and can't reach him. Where the hell is Putin? He's not going to make a statement at 3 a.m. Also, both sides are jockeying for his favor. There are military vehicles in the streets of Moscow. This isn't jockeying favors anymore. It's pretty damn clear that Wagner is attempting a coup right now. He doesn't want to overthrow Putin. He wants Putin to back him against Shoigu. I mean, it's speculation, obviously, but it makes the most sense. That may be the case, but I don't care. Call this jockeying for favors anymore, especially with Putin having disappeared from the public. It's 3 a.m. He's home, as always. The Kremlin doesn't know where he is and can't reach him. This is like really serious. I'm super serious. Wagner is spitting truth and inciting a coup. Tanks are on the streets of Moscow. Kremlin's having a meltdown. And U.S. news leads with submersible still sunk. Right. The boys pulling up to the Kremlin. Holy shit. Mercenaries that Putin fired have started a coup against the Kremlin, and this is happening at the president. Putin is positioning nuclear warheads in Belarus. He was doing that already, stupid. This has nothing to do with anything. Hiding a bathroom at Mar-a-Lago. All right. Nuclear button. Yeah. Putin is, okay. These old pictures of Putin just make him look sick by comparison now. Once he's gotten older and fatter, it just looks like him post-cancer. Yep. Yeah, I wonder what the next fucking Tucker Carlson video is going to be like. Okay, let's go back to the Kremlin videos and we will see some. This is how many Putins are there? Okay, we saw that one before. Oh, so these are more cars coming in. That's that shot. Yep, we're pretty much caught up. Oh, this is what he did today. Kremlin released a video of Putin congratulating school leavers on Youth Day in a prerequisite school leavers. Okay. Believe in yourself, dream bravely, achieve your goals, and you will definitely be successful being cannon fodder in Donbass. Killing your aunt's cousin's friend. Next time you see a pro-Kremlin, I might say that I'm paid for the Kremlin. Agreed. I mean, this whole thing with like Obama coming out today, lost for words, particularly how disgraceful Obama's the statement that Ukraine didn't have national identity separate from Russia, straight out of Kremlin genocide. Ukraine is not a nation. I'm not sure that's what he is saying at all. We'll go into that later. Igor Girkin lashes out, ex-commander Donetsk, lashes out on President Putin. He has seen tanks only in a parade, nothing more, right? Because that's the idea. Putin's never invaded a place that had more than 4 million people in it. Wagner and Russia's military coup. This is people trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Because they don't have somebody like me catching them up. Weird Putin moment from the other day while congratulating Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman in space, on the 60th anniversary of her flight. Note that he's speaking from a lectern, even though nobody else is there, bar a couple of Kremlin hangars. Also, that's not really him. Even Russian military admits there are more police officers close to the Kremlin than usual, but they also say everything is calm. Well, yeah. What is this? Thinks he can drift Georgia into Kremlin's orbit and go business usual in Brussels. He later finds it Bleezy. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Apartment 21st floor house. Okay, this is the 20th. Now we're back to the fucking Moscow port. Look at this. Now it's filling up. Now Lemon's getting bounced down here. They're trying to stack it up there with that, but Machiavelli is making it. Look at that. Oh, we're getting an erudite lesson tonight, kids. Breaking U.S. monitoring situation after Russia launched a criminal investigation. The leader of the Wagner Group mercenary charged of armed mutiny. Okay, good. All right. MSNBC is starting to cover it. Wagner attempts coup in Russia. Sources of the VCHK OGPU reported 2 hours ago security services have called its former mercenaries. Those who participate in combat for more than one contract were called with the words, "The company needs them now as never before." We brought out the reaction to confirm readiness. We kept quiet. They just confirmed that we were in touch, and that was it. No instructions were received. Someone must have answered that he was ready for everything. We don't know what happened to him next. Calls also came to ex-prisoners who returned from SMO. The rhetoric of Wagner's security service and communicating them was limited exclusively to checking personal data and finding out their location. So they're trying to like either round people up, or if they're not with us, they're against us. So they're gonna. Stop showing, and then this is the latest ones. Mercenary vows to punish Russian military leaders. Mercenary captains are either capable men or they're not. Possible mercenary rebellion going on. Multiple reports on Telegram are indicating that the first clash between Russian military and Wagner mercenaries had occurred on the Rostov-Moscow highway outside of Rostov-on-Don. We've been covering this for a while now, actually. Russian military guards have reportedly fled and have abandoned their weapons. Russian general urges Wagner's fighters not to join a coup. Too late. It appears PMC Wagner mercenaries may be attempting a coup against the Russian military after the Russian military stages strike on Wagner. It appears, sure. Russia's impetus for invading Crimea is based on lies conjured up by Kremlin's top military. Oh shit, there's an open window in a skyscraper with his name on it. Yeah, that's what happens. Hearing more about the mercenary chef, you're correct. Correct under pressure. Producers, okay. Video showing a column of mercenaries from Prigozhin's Wagner Group entering Russian city of Rostov. That's these guys. According to local sources, the Russian police and National Guard are not opposing or resisting the advance of the mercenaries. Yeah, those are troop trucks. The idea being that those are the mercenaries. Those are the Wagnerites. Lookner? Who's Lookner? Let's see. Agenda free, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is the guy that popped that video. Prigozhin audio statement gave an order for planes to bomb Wagner columns, and they didn't do it, right? So that President Biden's been briefed on what's happening in Russia per the National Security Council. That's an hour ago, according to Caitlin Collins. Absence of Putin so far in this crisis is striking. Imagine military vehicles cruising around in downtown D.C. and Biden saying nothing. Exactly. New audio statement by Prigozhin crossed the borders in all areas, destroying promising to destroy anything in their way. Is now entering Belgorod. Current situation. Fucking hell. Wait. New audio statement by Prigozhin, stating Wagner crossed state borders in all areas and is now entering Rostov, promising to destroy anything in their way. Current situation. Today we were dealt a missile strike. After the strike, helicopters did their work, then artillery. Orders were coming from the head of the general staff to destroy PMC Wagner. After a meeting with Minister of Defense Shoigu, okay, yes, we saw that. I don't know where the Belgorod shit come from. Security services are clearly taking Prigozhin's threat seriously. I would wait to see if Wagner mobilizes, deploys, or whether anyone significantly joins him, or if he even needs them. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is he alone? Prigozhin posted a new audio after 3 hours and claims they've crossed all state borders, is entering Rostov. So far, claims have been alleged. March column haven't been backed up by video. They're going to start posting. It'll be on his site in a little bit. There's several hundred Wagner vehicle column moving through Russia now, but there is zero video or photo evidence. There's meant to be, I see. Russian. Well, I will say here on House Parks Mega Worldwide, we did see footage of that moving column from that one source earlier. This guy, this one right here. Allegedly, that's what this is. That's the column of Wagnerites, supposedly. Again, we can't know, and we'll know later. Sure, but holy shit. Tim Pool and crew react to reports of Wagner Army mercenaries may attempt a coup in Moscow. When I first heard the story, I thought, what did NATO offer them? Double? Fuck you. What a chimp.
Troops on Capitol streets and vows to smash armed mutiny as state TV runs emergency bulletin. This is crazy. They say there are fears of a coup in Russia as military vehicles were seen in the streets after the chief of the is it Wagner Group or is it Wagner Group?
Wagner sounds cooler.
I think that's actually the appropriate pronunciation. They called for an armed
You know why? Nazis.
Rebellion and direct challenge to the Kremlin. Yevgeny Prigozhin said his force had crossed into Russia as he called for the ousting of Russia's defense minister and vowed to punish military leaders whom he accused of killing 2,000 of his fighters. The Wagner chief said, "We had crossed state borders. We'll destroy anything that gets in the way. We go all the way." We got this photo here. Armored vehicles were allegedly on the streets of Moscow. So the first thing I got to say is, what was that saying? Believe half of what you, what is it? Believe half of what you see and none of what you read or hear or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great standard to have, especially when you read what you read, I guess.
Like that. Take it all with a grain of salt. I don't know for sure, but
yeah, I mean, it's probably not. It's probably just all for show. It's probably just something Ukrainian. It's probably Mid-Journey. Probably, I'm going to guess AI created video.
I will say this. When I first heard this story, I was like, what did NATO offer him? Double?
Yeah, that's because you're a douchebag. But also, what does that tell you about the meaning of the war to the people fighting it?
Like, this is how it goes with PMCs. Yeah. He's fighting in Ukraine. They're getting demolished. And then he's like, it's not worth the money. He's a private military contractor. What does he care? And then NATO says, what are they paying you, dude? And he was like, 50 million. He's like, okay, we'll give you 200. And he was like, okay, sure. That's all it takes, right?
Money printing.
No, it's not. Because going back into the country and trying to kill Vladimir Putin, if you don't have vengeance in your heart to do it, I like, they can give you 200 million. You want to make $50 million here and flee the country and go live in Africa, as a king for the rest of your life? You're going to go try and kill Vladimir Putin and die in the process, more than likely.
Machine goes burr.
This is the
printing machine goes burr. Jesus Christ. It's all big government spending, according to this dickhead. Meanwhile, can we just enjoy the fact that these guys are miserable? That this is happening, that there's a coup happening in Russia, and they're like, damn, boy, did we back the wrong horse. Probably going to be fine.
Danger of hiring mercenaries to fight a war happened to the Rome. I don't know if this is exactly what
this happened to the Romans.
Happened with the Romans, but they were.
It's pretty much what happened with the Romans. Pretty much what happened with the Romans.
They were bringing in.
I got news for you, asshole. We have plenty of contractors doing all kinds of gnarly shit for America and hiring them out, especially when Bush was in office. And none of them decided to declare war on the fucking Pentagon, you dope.
Mercenaries from all over the world to come and fight for the Romans because the Roman citizens got to a point where they didn't want to fight anymore. And then that's the beginning.
That's not at all what this is.
At the end, because those people do not have any allegiance to your country.
This is the American Revolution. They brought in the British brought in German mercenaries.
The Hessians.
Yeah.
Hessians, is that it?
Yeah. And those are the people who got routed by when when George Washington. I almost said Joe Biden. My God. When George Washington crossed the
It's a common mistake, and I understand.
Delaware, it was the Hessians who got routed.
Christmas Eve?
Yeah, the famous painting, right? The most famous painting of the Revolutionary War. That's who he was going to fight. The Germans, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there is obviously value to having a more robust fighting force, including mercenaries. But if you're relying on mercenaries, you're in a very precarious position.
This fucking sports talk by these dickheads who have been backing Russia this whole fucking time is gorgeous. Shut the fuck up. Warplanes are currently circling over the city of Rostov. City is currently being surrounded by Wagner mercenaries. That's a planes going by. Is this the idea? Russian military has ordered airstrikes against the Wagners. That's that helicopter, I think. Yeah, that fucking might be a commercial plane, silly. If in the first act you have a pistol on the wall, then in the following one, it should be fired. From Chekhov, right. It seems it did fire. Prigozhin claims the locations of the Wagner mercenaries were hit by a missile strike from the rear performed by the military Russian Defense Ministry. He confirmed the strikes in an audio message, said the number of casualties was huge. How many acts are in the play? That's the footage from one of the camps reposted on Prigozhin's channel. Yeah. Military coup. There you go. That's an hour ago. Wagner PMC mercenary recently returned from fighting Ukraine. Vasily Merchev shot, a local boxing federation president and 2 others in Russia. Number of Russian civilians murdered by Wagner mercenaries is rising rapidly. This happened yesterday. Geek. Klaverdis, governor of Ukraine's occupied Kherson region, answered a question about Kiev's counteroffensive. At one point, he seemed to suggest the Western mercenaries now leading Ukraine's military will be sent next to China. Fuck off. Putin's deployed tanks in the streets. Well, somebody has. They can't reach him in Rostov-on. I don't think he has to. Yep. First video allegedly showing Wagner Group mercenaries. And who showed it to you first? I'm just saying. Shocking footage of American squad of mercenaries fighting in Bakhmut lightly before the fall. They're not Americans. They're Americans fighting in the Foreign Legion. It's not American troops, stupid. There's a difference. That's the channel of the explosion. That's where they show their obliterated comrades. American mercenaries fighting for Ukraine. Again, yeah, these people they're not mercenaries. They're fighting in the Foreign Legion there, stupid. Like they know the difference. French-speaking 300th mercenaries in the SMO. Yeah. Yeah, we know that there's people in, like, why people want to go in there and stop the Russians. Russian propagandists are discussing who deserves to be the new political elite of Russia. Mercenaries from PMC Wagner fit this description very well. The Kremlin yap. Moscow, Putin's deployed military onto the streets. There you go. Orders of NATO command. Ukrainian mercenaries were sent to probe the Russian positions. After abandoning the wounded, the Ukrainian mercenaries decided to retreat, but something went wrong. Whatever. Footage of their own guys. Ukrainian nationalists, foreign mercenaries driving over mines. Toyota Land Cruiser. Yeah, it's war. There's that dickhead. Make no mistake, he's working directly for MI5 terrorists under the supervision from the British spy Drew Harris. We the people and solely are used as state mercenaries and state agitators against anyone. The tyrannical government. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's adorable though. Video attack of Prigozhin mercenaries staging. Prigozhin statements were prepared in advance. Ministry of Defense denies the airstrike on Wagner. Right there. None of it's there. And there's that footage I showed you before. All right, cool. So we jump back in here. This is definitely piping to the top. Look at that. Murder. Why is this? Kennedy Jr. says Russia acted in good faith. Yeah. Fuck that dude. Most crimes, including murder, are retrospective. That's when we're looking back both ways. Okay, yeah. Check you marathon. Yet the documents related to his murder have never been declassified. Why are they still being hidden? Time the American. Okay, fuck off. Whole thing was premeditated. It was murder. It was active terrorism by a state against the world. Let's call it what it is. I mean, China, I guess. He alone owns youth, gains a future, Adolf Hitler. Moms for Liberty. Yeah, Moms for, by the way, like, this is so weird. Moms for Liberty quoted this. They quoted this because they're saying that's what the gay agenda is. They're not quoting it because they want the children. They're saying this is what the other side is doing. They just did it ham-fistedly. The idea that they do this all the time. They quote Hitler and Stalin and Mao and attribute it to what Democrats want to do all the fucking time. 5G is silently killing people and causing numerous other health problems. Why aren't folks angry at the governments around the world for installing these murder machines? Okay, whatever. Jesus Christ. The wavelengths barely pass through your body, stupid. It was murder. It was active terror. Okay, that guy's who they're quoting, I guess. And notice how that's popping up to the top. Meanwhile, Moscow is making its way across all the foreign sites. I'm going to bail out. I'm going to go see if any of it's on the news. We'll do one last run through here. Yeah, see, they're trying to push this to the top. Because they're like, Twitter's trying to knock this shit up. There's no fucking way anything is breaking news more than this. Jesus. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. I'm going to bug out. I already went long anyways. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow because I got to do the radio show in the morning. So love you. Take care of yourself. And this is going to be a fucking crazy show tomorrow. Oh, check the Venmo. Linda, thank you so much. Bless you. And Melissa, thank you so much as well. You guys are lovely. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the PayPal tips and the Venmo and the Cash App support and becoming patrons. Patreon.com/HouseBarks. Don't forget to subscribe. If only because I've been right all along.
I broke their ass.
Love you guys. Be well. See you in the morning.
I like fighting number 2. I like fighting number 2. I like fighting number 2. We had a wet vaccine. We had a wet vaccine. The past wasn't that long ago. I broke their ass. It is sock draw. Somebody like that can write good. Action replays in magnified fortune. Even brought a safecracker.
I had a beat off.
Where's Dick? Hi, Dick. Do we like Dick? Yes. What? I broke their ass.
You could say it's a back door, but I call it a smart door. Dumps. They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps.
I don't read, obviously. They said, oh.
I had a beat off.
They said, oh.
Again, the words are conditions.
It is sock draw. I've been involved in the 2 greatest scams in American history. I was a private business people.
Here I am like an idiot.
Legal area. The Burmese executives. So these Burmese